Alright, Hikaru, are we ready? Are we ready for the last story? Let's go. Let's see what this is all about. It all ties together. This is how it all ties together. So you get to find out everything you've had questions about. Hikaru Kazama, the enigmatic professor. The ever-charming Hikaru has had a tragic life, though rarely will one catch him without a smile plastered on his face. He is known as a friendly yet stern man who takes his job very seriously, but he prefers to stay in his memories of a happier time when he can. Hikaru rarely uses his abilities to the fullest because of past events that still haunt him to this day. All right. Now that you're properly intrigued, let's go. Read story. Book 1. Spoilers warning, okay? If you're watching this on YouTube and you haven't watched any of the others and you care about spoilers, I recommend going back through. We have played all of them, all of the other storylines. So stop watching now and go watch the other storylines if you do care about spoilers. But this route contains major spoilers from all 4 previous routes as it serves as the finale to the entire game. It also contains spoilers about the universe itself, which will lessen the enjoyment of the other 4 stories. We highly recommend that you only play Hikaru's story after you have finished all other routes of Serendipity of Aeons. Okay? Alright, you've been properly warned. Book 1. Shattered. I look around at all the guys surrounding me, but there's just one thing that strikes me as odd. Why can't I pick you, Professor Kazama? Because I'm not a student. This is for a grade. Look, this doesn't make sense. You're a professor. You probably know the most. And you're used to teaching people about things. And you were able to shield the entire class from whatever it was I did. You're the best person to help me. She is right. You can't fault her logic, Professor. True. Can't get out of this one, Professor K. Logic isn't... Kate, you'd have to contact this person outside of school hours. I'm a professor, so I don't think it'd be appropriate. I don't know, I think it's pretty appropriate. Yo, Exotic, what's up, dude? Welcome in. Happy Thursday. But this isn't high school anymore, Professor K. I don't think anyone would care if you texted a student outside of school hours, especially if it's assignment related. Let's go. Right. I don't think any rules exist like that. All of the guys seem to be in agreement. As if it's already been decided, they start picking up their bags to get ready to go. Meanwhile, Hikaru is just standing there, looking as if the world just ended. I start to push myself to get up, and Hikaru seems to snap back to attention. He leans down and easily pulls me up. With a sigh, he turns to me. Come on, then. I'll take you home. We step out into the hallway. Hikaru is walking slightly faster than me, as if he doesn't want to be seen with me. As we walk, I begin to notice occasional stares, mostly from young women. Some of the looks are curious, but some of them are outright glares. Yeah, he's the hottie. He's like the Indiana Jones of the school. They have bags, but do they have multipass? I don't know. Probably not. I look up at Professor Kazama to see if he notices, but I can't see his face. Their looks continue outside. Even young men are staring at us, though they seem either curious or confused. I'm honestly beginning to wonder what kind of reputation Hikaru has on campus. I mean, I know he's good looking, but this seems a little excessive. Can y'all hear the game okay? After a few minutes, we finally make it to the parking garage. It seems like the desktop audio is kind of low. Let me turn it up just a little bit. Let me know. Let me know if it's a problem at any point. Alright, sorry. I'll be right back. Game is low. Can you hear it better now? Because the music slaps. When he returns, it's with his car, a black sporty coupe. Somehow I'm not surprised. It just seems to fit with his model-esque aesthetic. Alright, thank you, Frank. Appreciate it. He pushes open the door for me and I get in. I take a moment to appreciate the soft black leather of the seats and the faint smell of coffee in the air. I'm sorry, I should have said this earlier, but my apartment is close enough to walk to. Not a problem. You look pretty shaky, so getting driven is probably the best option. Oh my god! That was loud.
I don't know about you, Miss Kitty, but I feel so much yummier.
Hello. Takami, hello. You look pretty shaky, so getting driven is probably the best option. After I give him my address, there's no other sound besides the quiet hum of Hikaru's car. He seemed really friendly around everyone else, but with me, he acts so strange. Maybe he doesn't like me. Maybe that's why he seems to resent me picking him so much. But I don't even know the guy. I didn't do anything to deserve this. I began to feel seriously awkward about the entire situation. I guess I did really push myself on him, didn't I? I mean, maybe that's the reason he doesn't like me. But he's the one who made me choose! I'm so conflicted. I'm not sure what to say. But I can't take the silence anymore, thinking that he's sitting there hating me. So I blurt out a random question. That day in the business club, why did you stare at me like that? That's the question. Why did you stare at me? Why are you so obsessed with me? Huh? The car swerves a little off the road, hitting the edge of the sidewalk before Hikaru rights it again. Whoa, what was that about? Hikaru finally looks at me for just a moment.
This is Sparta!
Sorry about that. To answer your question, you just looked a lot like someone I used to know. That's a great song. But she's been dead now for a very long time. Oh. Uh-oh. What else can I say? Someone he used to know, not somebody that I used to know. I try to think of who I look like, and flashes of my mother come to mind. My stomach reflexively nods, and I try not to think of her face. No, that's highly unlikely. Shizuka probably doesn't frequent the kinds of places a young man would. Besides that, as far as I know, she isn't dead. A disturbing thought occurs to me then. One that asks if I would really even care if she was. I shove it to the back of my mind. Finally, we stop in front of my apartment. Without really looking at me, Hikaru begins to speak carefully. You seem tired, so you can tell me your situation when we see each other next. But if you really don't know anything about the supernatural world, I guess I can tell you this much. I'm pretty sure that you're part of a special class of humans known as sorcerers. For some reason I can't figure out, you hold immense power for such a young sorceress. Your power seems to sporadically release when triggered by an emotional event. So essentially, I'd just like you to avoid those until we can get your powers under control. Sound good? Okay, I'll just avoid emotions. So, I really am a sorceress now? I'm not entirely sure how to react to the information, but I nod. Well, it makes sense, so yeah, I'll try my best. I was fine all day through school today anyway. Alright, good. Well, you should be okay to walk to your door, so... I feel a little dejected by how casually he's trying to get rid of me, but I obey, and I start to get out of the car. Then I make a split-second decision to say what's on my mind. I turn around to face Hikaru. I'm sorry about forcing you into this. I don't want anyone helping me who doesn't want to do it, though, so I'll choose someone else tomorrow. I'm not so weak as to beg for anyone's help, or try to force them into it. Not even if I think it's your duty as a teacher to help people anyway. Hikaru finally turns around to face me, and our eyes meet. For some reason I can't fathom. He seems to be truly in shock. With a strange look on his face, Hikaru raises his hand as if drawn to me. He reaches out across the seat and pauses for just a moment before lightly touching my cheek. I find myself leaning in toward him without thinking about it, our faces getting closer. I can't help but be mesmerized by the intense color of his eyes. Are you sure you're not? Of course you're not. You're Kate, right? I don't know how to respond to this, but Hikaru quickly removes his hand and leans away from me. He turns away from me and somehow I feel a little sad. I'm really sorry about that. I don't know what happened there, to be honest. I also apologize if I came off as rude, or like I don't want to help you. That's not it. It's just... I accepted this task, so I'm going to go through with it. You were right. As your homeroom teacher and as someone who can do this, I should be the one to help you. Please understand that any issues I have are personal ones and have nothing to do with you. I'm sorry. Hikaru pauses a moment before leaning over me to reach into his glove box. He takes out a piece of paper and pen and writes something down. Here, my contact info. Please don't hesitate to use it if you need me. Thanks. I get out of the car, thoroughly confused, but feeling a little better about the situation. I can only watch Hikaru drive off into the approaching night with conflicted feelings. I sit down in my chair just as the class is about to start. I have to remind myself not to bite my lip while I look around. After yesterday, my history class was suddenly switched to Professor Kazama's with little explanation. I didn't even know he taught normal classes, and finding out about it this way has left me feeling off balance. I'd heard that life in university can be hectic, but after what happened in the basement, I don't know. Was I really expecting it to get better? I sigh and slump in my seat. At least there's no exploding classrooms this time. Well, I hope not anyway. I mumble to myself and sit back up. I get the feeling Hikaru wouldn't appreciate me sitting like that in his class. I snort. I bet he's the one responsible for my classes being switched last minute. No doubt to keep a better eye on me. You think? I look around the classroom again, trying to spot the professor in question. I wonder, will he say anything? He doesn't really seem like the type to, but I guess I could be wrong. Though, I wonder what would happen if I did go off spouting about Hagiwara's secret basement. But do I really want to know? I'm mumbling this when a mop of white hair catches my eye. Takumi appears before me so I can so much as blink. He plops down in the seat next to me with a big grin nearly splitting his face in half. I guess some people just really love history. Hey Kate, I didn't expect to see you in Kazama's class. Hey Takumi. Yeah, I switched recently. Oh really? Is it 'cause you heard all those rumors about his looks then? What? What are you? His rumors? What? No. No, definitely not. But that's definitely an overreaction. Takumi's eyes trail off to the side, and I follow his gaze to the entrance just as Hikaru walks in. Professor K's classes are always super interesting though, so you made a good choice. Time to begin the lecture. He doesn't raise his voice. He doesn't need to. Everyone starts to quiet down just as he enters the classroom. In the back, however, a pair of students continue to whisper to each other. Hikaru says nothing, only stares at the two students who, finally noticing the silence in the room, look at the professor. The words die in their throats in an instant. Silence achieved, Hikaru starts writing the words on the board. Christianity, Evagrius Ponticus, and John Cassian. He draws an arrow pointing to the words, then adds, the 7 deadly sins. Hikaru writes out each sin. Lust, gluttony, greed, sloth, wrath, envy, and pride. Oh my god. Why are those so loud? Thank you for the Rickroll. Then, with marker still in hand, he turns to the class. The modern concept of the 7 deadly sins is linked to the works of the 4th century monk Evagrius Ponticus. He identified 8 evil spirits or thoughts that human beings need to overcome. My fingers speed over my laptop keyboard, trying to note down everything the professor says. I'm somewhat aware of how many typos I must be leaving, but that's a problem for future me to work on. Sorry, future me. One of us has to take it for the team. Ponticus's pupil, John Cassian, brought the concept over to Europe, where it became fundamental to Catholicism. It ended up influencing many works and arts, including Dante's epic poem, The Divine Comedy. Catholics added 7 counters to the sins known as the 7 heavenly virtues. He adds chastity, temperance, charity, diligence, patience, kindness, and humility on the board, across from the 7 deadly sins. The concept of sins and virtues being an inherent part of humanity isn't one exclusive to Europe, however. In Japan's own Bushido, there exists a code typified by 8 virtues, justice, courage, benevolence, respect, honesty, honor, loyalty, and self-control. The virtues are not unlike those in Catholic doctrines. This fact in itself is just one small implication of many, that humanity is basically the same at the core, throughout time and space. No matter what ethnicity someone is, or what age they hailed from, they probably basically thought and felt the same things at the core. He laughs. But that's probably a discussion for philosophy instead of history, isn't it? I don't know. I think they can go hand in hand. I think a philosophy of history class could be really neat, actually. Hikaru moves on to talk about other topics, but at the end of the class he assigns us homework. We're supposed to research more about the sins, virtues, and other similar codes and how they feature throughout history. Seems like a kind of heavy topic for the first lesson. I jotted down in my planner, circling it twice so I don't forget it. Not that it wasn't interesting, but he really does toss his students right into the deep end, huh? I slowly pack my things up, waiting for most of the other students to rush out first before making my own way out. Just as I'm halfway out the door, I suddenly feel a large hand on my arm. I jump, nearly dropping my phone. When I turn, I forget what I wanted to say in an instant. Don't leave yet. I gulp. Don't leave yet? I can't think of any good reason for him to want me to stay behind, but despite my confusion, I can't actually bring myself to ask. I look down at his hand on my arm, and before I can comment on it, he removes it. I need you to come down to the basement with me for extra lessons. Oh, say less. That sounds a bit... Yeah, without context, it's like, what? Oh. Hikaru sighs. Not those kind of lessons. Damn. Oh, man. Not today, at least. Oh? Hey, yo? Oh. Okay. Then when? Isn't that kind of appropriate? No. Then when? Then when would be a better day? This weekend, maybe? I was thinking more along the lines of never. Oh. Boo. Boo this man. This is my first year of teaching, and I'm not looking to be fired. You started the flirting. How dare you? But you just said... You'll find him often a contradictory man. Boo. You tease. Anyway, I've decided that I'll give you extra lessons in my spare time to speed this thing along. It's obviously not safe for you to be walking around with such immense power and no control over it, and I'd be remiss to ignore that. So you need to be willing to put in the extra effort, and time too. The faster we get this done, the faster we can be done with each other. Oh. Does he really have to put it like that? I'm not particularly pleased with his tone, or with having my free time suddenly taken away from me. When am I supposed to do homework, or relax, or anything? But I can't exactly argue with his logic. I did choose him.
I don't see you. Good afternoon, good evening.
Pander. Gonna make dinner? Have a good dinner. Thanks for the lark. But I can't exactly argue with his logic. I did choose him, and he is giving up his own personal time for this. With no other choice, I sigh and nod. Follow me, then. I've already got permission to use one of the empty lecture halls to do this, though they don't know the exact details. If they did, I doubt they let me handle this alone. That doesn't sound good. I suppose that I'd better be a little more thankful to Hikaru for helping me. With another sigh, I follow Hikaru out of the classroom. Hikaru points to the front of the lecture hall, and I plop myself down on one of the front seats with a sigh. I could definitely use a coffee for an energy boost, but with just the two of us here, at least I can relax more. Can we have grabbed a coffee on the way? Hikaru takes his place at the podium. I quietly watch and wait for him to start. Unlike in previous lectures, though, there's something different about him. His stance is more relaxed than before. He leans on one elbow, a hand thoughtfully cupping his face as he looks out at the ocean rolling outside the strange windows. Where to start? He mumbles to himself. I pull my laptop out of my bag and open it, getting ready to type and record the lecture. Finally, Hikaru's eyes land on me. First, I think you should have a little bit of magical history before we get into the gritty details. Among humans that are mages and there... Oh, wait, no. Restart. Among humans there are mages and there are sorcerers. I lean forward in my chair, my fingers resting on my keyboard, ready to type away. What exactly is the difference between the two? Hikaru pauses at my question for a few moments. Their origins. Do origins matter that much? In our world, yes. Gods, as the keeper of the universal order, make it so. Mages are humans who have gained their magic through a union with Fae. Some might say that it makes all mages some part Fae. While sorcerers are humans who were granted powers by the god of chaos. Because of his interference, sorcerers are often seen as wrong, because they didn't come about in a way that flows with the natural order of things. A cold chill creeps into my very bones. If sorcerers are wrong, what about homunculi then? Just how wrong am I? I glance up at the ceiling, half expecting it to collapse on top of me as some sort of universal way of correcting what's not meant to exist. Unaware of my internal struggle, Hikaru continues his lesson, and I quickly try to pull myself together. But the cold feeling never leaves me. This is no time for existential dread to kick in, Kate. That's a little too close to home. That's me every day. I'm just like, ugh. I push all thoughts away and focus on Hikaru instead. There are only a few well-known sorcerers in history. These individuals were born with the potential for extraordinary power. It is often said that they are the only mortal creatures who can ever hope to rival the power of the gods. As such, it's unfortunate that most do not live very far into adulthood. More often than not, they are killed before they can reach their potential. Some are killed before they even receive their powers, or just after getting them. The sign of a sorcerer awakening is the changing of the eye color to a vivid green. In the past, humans would kill anyone who showed signs of becoming a sorcerer. Many would go so far as to murder their own relatives if their eyes turned green. There are some documented cases of children born with green eyes being killed, due to others assuming they were sorcerers. It remains unclear if they actually were. The humans did this out of fear of the wrath of the gods. There even used to be a saying, "Green eyes bring fury." The saying was originally meant as a warning to those who wished to make enemies of the ancient sorcerers. However, as time passed, it took on a different meaning. According to some records, it was around 900 AD that the saying turned into a warning that indicated a sorcerer's birth would bring the wrath of the gods upon everyone. And so it became common practice to kill any potential sorcerers before they had the chance to grow into their powers. Most of the well-known sorcerers in history were born before this time. After they started being called the curse of the green eyes, only
But daddy is a state of mind, you know what I'm saying? I'm your daddy.
After they started being called the curse of the green eyes, only a very small number of them survived. Perhaps the best-known sorceress in history, and the only female sorcerer to survive past the age of 20, is Chihiro Hagiwara, the woman who, as you may be able to tell from the name, this university is named after. Sorcerers are considered to be the children of the god of chaos, as it was he who gave them their powers. All sorcerers that have never lived can be traced back to the original ones. My mind buzzes with the information, trying to absorb everything he tells me. I can hardly believe that this is all real history, that it's not just something out of a fantasy book. No, it's not just that. It's real history, but it's my history now too. I'm part of this, whatever this is. I swallow, whether I like it or not. Whatever my role is to be in this, I can't help but feel that it's also incredibly tragic. What exactly did Shizuka have to go through? She must have lived through those times. Perhaps the only reason she lived this long was this curse that I now have to carry. Hikaru doesn't give me time to properly process any of it, and pushes onto his next topic, control and focus. The first thing any supernatural child or human with magical powers learns is emotional control through breath control. That's where we'll begin. I desperately try to take notes down as fast as I can, but it's different when you're the only student. And much more difficult when your teacher is Hikaru. He keeps stopping long enough for me to take notes until eventually, "Why don't you just record my voice and focus only on me?" It's difficult to focus on little else, to be honest, and yet, his good looks do end up distracting me from time to time. It's all too much for my exhausted brain, but Hikaru is relentless and soon has me begin to practice controlling my breathing. Over and over again, I inhale and exhale until I forget how to breathe normally. 2 hours into the lecture, we're finally done, and I feel like a wrung-out wash rag, while Hikaru seems only the slightest bit tired. Hikaru sighs and picks up his laptop bag, slinging it across him. We didn't cover as much as I'd hoped. I've never taught an adult the basics before. Maybe I should study up on how to do this in a better way for you. I want to have lessons at least 5 times a week until I think your control is adequate. 5 times a week? You do know I have other classes, right? And I once had some semblance of a social life. Oh. Wait, did I say that? I don't think you understand how dangerous you are right now. I understand why you wouldn't, but you have to trust me when I say that you are. This isn't something you can put off without dire consequences. I sigh and nod. I stay just long enough to coordinate schedules with Professor Kazama. The moment we're finally done, I find I'm too exhausted to muster even some semblance of excitement or relief. Too drained for much of anything, I drag myself home. 2.5 months pass by in a blink of an eye. Between Hikaru's private lessons, normal classes, and the other magical ones I was signed up for, there's hardly time for anything else. I come home every day with just enough energy to somehow force myself to do homework before falling straight into bed. I can't remember the last time I wasn't too exhausted to make myself actual food. I don't have a hint of a social life even, and ended up having to drop business club just to be able to keep up with my school workload. The only other person who I've seen outside of school recently is my father. I sigh and stop by the window of a chocolate shop. That'll help. When in doubt, eat chocolate. I hardly pay attention to anything in the store window, too thrown off by my own miserable-looking reflection. These days, there's barely a moment when I don't feel dead tired. What does it feel like to not feel exhausted 24/7? I can't remember anymore. I can't remember ever, so I'll get back to you on that. To top it off, there's this wall between Hikaru and me, a wall that feels as impenetrable as the Great Wall of China. I sigh again, fighting back the urge to rest my forehead against the glass storefront. While I've gotten used to little things, like the way he speaks and his gestures, I'm not sure if I can trust that those are real. He still seems so different from that first strange day. Though I have learned a lot quickly, and I don't know when I'll use it all, I still don't feel as if we've gotten closer. Our lessons are basically him lecturing me to death, then staring at me and correcting me until I get the technique right. Then he tops it off by assigning me a ton of homework before leaving. All I really know about him is that he's friendly enough to everyone else, but seriously strict with me. I still think he doesn't like me, probably because he has to give up his social life because of me. Well, it's really because of frickin' Shizuka. I don't know what to think of Shizuka after learning the history of sorcerers. Even when asked about it, I haven't been able to tell Hikaru about the ritual that gave me my powers. Just thinking about it makes me sick inside still. I'm thankful that I'm too busy to really worry about it, but... I sigh once more and walk away from the shop. This is one of the rare times I get to visit Chuwa District, a place he once showed me, albeit very briefly. I had been excited to go somewhere, anywhere, and do something new with him, but... This is Chuwa, a supernatural district that is home to both humans and many different kinds of supernaturals. Chuwa District is the largest supernatural district in Japan, and the 27th largest supernatural district in the world. And the lecture continued on in that vein, with him briskly walking from shop to shop. He would briefly explain that there were many magical shops that sold many different things. He had warned me not to buy anything I didn't understand just because I could. In the end, he advised me to come to him with any questions or any of my other supernatural friends. Friends? What friends? I haven't had time to make any. The only reason I'm here now because Hikaru asked me to visit him for a lesson today. Hagiwara is closed for an event this Saturday, but I don't want to delay your lessons. You're finally picking things up in good time. I think we can be done with the extra ones before the end of this year, if we keep up the pace. So I want you to come to my place. Immediately, I sit up straight. Your place? Yes, that's unfortunately what I said. But don't get any ideas. This is strictly a tutoring lesson. Okay. You're assuming I had any ideas other than that. Yeah. I didn't. No. Am I wrong? Or do you not know what women usually come to men's homes for? Listen, now you're making it weird. That had me particularly annoyed, and just remembering it now makes the feelings rush back full force. I don't know why he's so rude to me. Or is he secretly like that to everyone, and it's just his brand of humor? It doesn't matter how attractive you are if you act like an asshole. I take a deep breath to calm myself down and continue to walk to Hikaru's place. From the second I step into his apartment, he barely spares me a single hello before beginning the lesson. A lesson I have had mixed feelings about, both excitement to learn something as cool as creating a tangible wind copy of myself, and pure dread at how difficult it sounded. And I wasn't wrong about that part. Why couldn't I be wrong about the difficulty? I would love it if I was wrong. Heck, I'd shout it from the rooftops about how wrong I was. I sigh and refocus on Hikaru before he can tell me off for spacing out again. Hikaru pauses, takes a deep breath, and repeats his last point. To create a wind copy of yourself, you need to focus all your attention on what you're doing. Once you master the basics, it will require less of your attention, meaning it will become more useful in battle. Fold the air in on itself and shape it to mirror your own form. Hold it until you can feel it come together into a shape that won't fall apart. I nod and focus on the empty space before me. All right, just focus. You can do this. I hold my hands out and take a deep breath to still myself. Moving in and out, I move my hands, forming the air into a humanoid shape that slowly becomes more and more visible with each motion. I'm actually doing it this time. As the humanoid form takes shape, it slowly starts to look more solid. I push my hands together in one swift maneuver and let go. The copy stands in front of me and I can barely hold my excitement. I did. A powerful gust of wind blasts through the room, knocking me back into the sofa. I cover my head as books fly everywhere. The wind dies down as quick as it came, and I open my eyes to see Hikaru contain the raging wind into a small ball. With a flick of his wrist, it disappears into nothing with no trace. Oh, Before I can finish my sentence, Hikaru turns on me with a furious look on his face. Did you even listen to me? I told you to be careful. I did. I was. Before I know it, hot tears spill from my eyes. Oh. Hikaru looks away from me without a word. Crying? Why am I gently touch my tear-streaked face, as if checking to make sure I'm not just imagining my own reaction. Ah, the stress. I guess it finally got to me. I don't want to cry in front of Hikaru, though, so I scrub my face and look away, too. After a drawn-out silence, Hikaru eventually rises to his feet. Let's take a break. He leaves me alone. I don't bother to ask where he's going and just focus on trying to get my emotions under control. Despite my progress, Hikaru has been cold to me for months. I should have expected this here, too. A few moments later, Hikaru returns with what appears to be hot sake in cups in his hands. He sinks back down to his cushion and, after pouring it, places one cup in front of me. Looking down at the cup in his own hand, he starts to talk. I'm sorry for yelling. And I'm out of tea, so I thought maybe this would relax you. Oh, what should I say? Is this your MO? Okay. I mean, I'll take a sake. Is this your MO? It's okay. Let's not make it weird. Weirder than it already is. I gingerly take the sake glass and take a sip of it, letting the warm, smooth, yet burning feeling flow down my throat. It's okay. I know you didn't mean it. I know you aren't like that. I look up at Hikaru for an answer, but he seems lost in thought. Did I say something wrong? Silence passes between us for an uncomfortably long time as we both drink the sake. We won't be getting any lessons done like this anyway. Not those kind of lessons. I stand up and Hikaru looks at me, his eyes questioning. I thought I should... I have some other homework to do anyway. Hikaru stares and then nods. He smoothly rises up, presumably to be a good host and see me out. I walk towards the door, but then as I stop and turn, I find that Hikaru is standing right next to me. We've never normally been this close. There's usually a big distance between us, both literally and metaphorically. I half wonder if he hasn't been doing that on purpose till now. But why does he look so upset right now? Instinctively, I gently touch his arm. Really, it's okay. Thank you for your kindness, Hikaru. For some reason, his first name slips out, and I hear him inhale sharply as his eyes widen. He suddenly gets even closer to me. Ayo? Hikaru has such a dark, tortured look on his face as he leans down to me that I can't stop myself from gasping. What are you doing? I can tell. You're not exactly like her, but maybe when she was younger she was like you? What? Who? A soft look falls over Hikaru's face. You really do look just like her. Only one of your eyes is different. And then, the way you touched me just then, you said my name. Hikaru's eyes narrow. There are many strange things that happen in this world. Could it be that you remember? I have no idea what to say. It doesn't help that my cheeks won't stop burning with Hikaru so close to me like this, looking at me so intently. What if I told you I did? I don't know what you're talking about. I'm sorry, I don't know. I'm sorry, I don't know what you're talking about. A sad smile passes over Hikaru's face. It's okay, but if there's something to know, I promise you, I will find out. Hikaru looks at me intently for a moment, with something almost like longing. No, can't be. I'm imagining things. Whatever I tell myself, my heart won't listen. It speeds up in response to him, to how he looks at me, but Hikaru simply steps away, albeit reluctantly. Hikaru heaves a heavy sigh. You regret it, don't you? Getting to even see this much of who I am. Wouldn't it be better for you if we pretended this conversation never happened? I can go back to being the friendly Professor Kazama, and you'll never have to feel uncomfortable with me again. Oh, have you been friendly? The sound of rapid clapping fills Hikaru's apartment, cutting me off. Huh? What the? Beyond confused, I turned to see someone walk out of one of the rooms in the hallway. Whatever, or whoever I was expecting, it certainly wasn't someone like this. A tiny woman stands before me, wearing elaborate Japanese clothing and a hairstyle that doesn't seem to fit her traditional outfit. What the hell? Did Hikaru seriously just have some woman waiting in his bedroom? I turned to Hikaru, expecting at least some embarrassment on his part, but all I see is pure and utter horror. Well, I'm impressed. I surely thought you two would already be in the bedroom by now. I feel my cheeks burn in embarrassment at her words. Me and him? Us? In the bedroom? Yeah? What is this woman going on about? A plethora of emotions swirls inside me, ranging from embarrassment to annoyance. I finally settle on shock and confusion in the end. The small woman looks around at Hikaru's apartment, walking around and nodding as if appreciating what she was seeing. She picks up one of the sake glasses off the table and begins speaking in a delicate but playful voice, not unlike that of a young girl. I was going to go for a dramatic entrance. You know, just appear right in your bedroom, or maybe even standing on top of the bed. But of course... She easily crushes the glass in her hands. Shards stick out of her skin, but no blood flows. Wordlessly, I watch as the sake drips off her elegant fingers to the floor. You ruined that for me. That's what you do, isn't it? Ruin things? Well, I guess I'm ruining something too, aren't I? I mean, I'm sure you were having a pretty good day until I showed up. Finally, Hikaru seems to come to his senses. He narrows his eyes at her. I didn't sense you. How are you? How am I here? You are so very predictable. Just as I had known you'd take your little whore back here. What? Hey, I'm not. Oh? You'd think I don't remember you. She laughs. The last sorceress. Without you interfering, I would have been free. Free to destroy them all. But that's okay. I'll just make you two suffer. And then, I'll finish what I started. Oh, but I have waited for this so long. The strange woman giggles and claps as she skips around me in a circle. Hikaru watches her with a dangerous look on his face, but makes no moves. She suddenly stops and looks into my face. Without taking my eyes off her, I step back a little. How should I do this? Should I torture your dearest Hikaru in front of you, or you in front of him? We stare into each other's eyes in silence. What I see in hers makes me shiver. Her wide pink eyes are so cold and empty. There is no mercy, no understanding, no nothing. A chill runs down my spine as I fully comprehend that this cute little woman in front of me is, in fact, danger. Austin Danger Powers. The woman glances back at Hikaru and he tenses. He's getting ready for something. But what? The fact that he hasn't attacked yet, and my own overwhelming senses screaming at me that I should run instead of fight, have me frozen. But it is so difficult to kill a demigod. My breath catches in my throat. What? Demigod? I jerk my head towards Hikaru, who doesn't seem at all surprised by her comment. So he's actually a demigod. She continues her little speech, undeterred by his lack of reaction, and completely uncaring of my feelings at the revelation. It's a good thing I'll have fun trying, though, no? She giggles and looks back at me. I like to take my time with him then, preferably while he's screaming for you in agony. The woman nods and lightly hits her fist into the palm of her other hand. That's it, then. Starting right now, we'll find out if you're really immortal. Let's have some fun. In the next moment, so many things happen all at once that it seems impossible. For a split second, I wonder if I'm just dreaming. The woman moves in one flowing arc with her hands, throwing them out at me. The whole room appears to distort and shimmer as the woman's eyes glow white. I can barely understand what's going on. I stand frozen in spot as a voice, one I realize is my own, just screams in my head. The colors bleed out of the surroundings, rapidly turning everything to grayscale. I have a strange feeling that in that moment, everything around me is shifting. No, I myself am shifting as the woman focuses on me. I feel like I'm moving through thick water. What's going on? Am I dreaming? Everything around me feels so strange. My whole body feels heavy, yet light at the same time. I can't tell if I'm about to sink or float away. Suddenly, I'm pushed by something hard to the side. Time feels as if it's moving slowly and quickly all at once, as I fall and hit the wooden floor below hard. Ugh! I look up as I try to pull myself off the floor and see Hikaru standing in front of me, holding out one hand up defensively against the woman. His own eyes glow, much like the strange woman's. The room starts to coil violently, as if it's a woven fabric being ripped apart. The image shifts before me, and I get odd sensations of everything moving around me. The room begins to glow brighter and brighter, making my head spin. Everything is so bright, I can't see. The brightness burns, bringing tears to my eyes. I squint, but that doesn't change anything. My ears ring, the sound only getting louder and louder by the second. I close my eyes, unable to bear my senses being assaulted like this all at once. I slowly open my eyes and struggle to sit up, swaying in each movement. There's a ringing in my ears as I see the woman there, her hand covering her mouth as she laughs. The sound of her laughter. It's in my head. I try to shake my head to clear it, to get it out, get her out of my mind. But something catches my eye, distracting me from the maniacal laughter in my head. Hikaru limply lays on the floor between us, face up, his glassy aqua eyes stare at nothing. No, 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 no!
No, God!
What the hell?
No, God, please, no!
What's going on?
No!
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 This all has to be some sick dream. I can't hear anything other than the ringing in my ears and the mad, endless, hysterical laughter in my mind. I try to speak, to ask who the woman is and what happened to Hikaru, but no sound seems to come out. Whoopsies! I don't quite know what happened there. I was going to save Hickey there for last, but it looks like I've killed him already. Killed? No, wait. Kill isn't strong enough. What? What could possibly be worse than being murdered? What is called when you tear someone's soul apart? I feel numb. This can't be real. This can't be real. I have to do something to wake myself up from this nightmare. I try to scramble over to Hikaru's body, but the woman instantly stops laughing, her expression twisting with insanity. Don't you dare! I immediately stop from the sheer pain of the thought that rips through my being. Clutching my head, I scream, though my voice remains missing. You don't get to even fucking touch him! You honestly thought I'd let you touch him after you let those disgusting humans get away with murder? I'm paralyzed by the pain in my mind, by the woman's rage and the pain in her voice, now bordering on something not even human. I can only continue to clutch my head in pain and fear as the tears roll down my face. But then, the woman suddenly seems to calm down, and for a moment, I feel like I can breathe again. Oh, mighty sorceress, the last sorceress, Shizuka. Shizuka? The one name I don't expect to hear out of some strange, insane woman. My tears stop at the mention of her name. But, before I can even attempt to let her know that I'm not her, the woman raises a single hand at me. She screams, her distorted shriek reverberating through my mind. I hope you're ready to spend eternity as dust. I once again at her mercy. Pain, unimaginable pain, spreads through every fiber of my being. My skin tingles, it burns, as if trying to peel itself away. My body and my mind scream. I can't think. All there is pain. I can feel my bones twisting, bending against the strain of an invisible force. Pain. Pain. Horrible pain. There's nothing else but pain. It's all too much. All I want is an end. Please, just let it end. My consciousness slowly slips away, and in my last moments I feel grateful for everything to just stop. Yeah, so that escalates pretty quickly.
Boy, that
Everybody take a
escalated
breath.
quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
Am I dead? I take a deep breath, feeling a peculiar serenity wash over me. How long has it been? There's no more pain. Is this? I can't move or feel anything. I'm not entirely sure my senses are working correctly because I can't see or hear or even feel anything else. Is this what being dead feels like? All discomfort has vanished and I'm left wondering about what happened. I don't want to think about that strange woman or the pain or Hikaru. The questions I wasn't able to ask haunt me now. Who was that woman? Or what was she even, to have so much power? I don't know anything. Ugh, I hate feeling so clueless. But she did call Hikaru a demigod. I'm not sure what I expected him to be. Human, I guess? A mage, maybe. I want to sigh. She also called me Shizuka, but even if I did get the chance to explain, I doubt that woman would have listened to me. Faintly, I hear a voice. I'm not quite sure if it's in my own mind or not, but I recognize it as the woman's. I'm petrified in fear, or rather, I would be, if I even knew if I still had a body. Shit, it didn't work? She should be a fucking pile of dust. I grow steadily more terrified at the anger in the woman's voice, but also grateful that I must not be dead at least. Well then, I guess the stories were true. The bitch is immortal. How to make an immortal suffer? Well, her lover is already blasted to bits, so... She giggles. But living forever can be a curse, can't it? She claps. Oh, I know. You can hear me, right? So I was thinking that you can spend the rest of your miserable existence in this space between worlds. Her voice sounds so sickeningly sweet and cheerful. Oh, and because I'm not totally heartless, I'll send your boyfriend's corpse, too. Have fun with all that, okay? I can only listen in horror as I feel a strange prickling feeling spread over my whole body. I'm thankful to feel anything that's not pain after all that, but I don't know if that's better. When I open my eyes, I gasp, but I hear nothing. Nothing. Not even the sound of my own breathing. Am I breathing? My hair floats around me, forming a halo around my head. Just what is going on here? I see nothing except what appears to be the void of space. My eyes dart back to my hair. For some reason, there's white streaks in it. What is this? Could this have something to do with Sanuka's attack? I sigh, knowing there's no use in wondering about something so small. It's clear I'm only trying to avoid processing the situation around me. I scream and scream, but there's no sound. I'm cold. Am I cold? I can't stop shaking. No. What did she do? Breathe in, breathe out. I keep repeating that to myself over and over and over. I wrap my arms around myself, trying to stop myself from shaking. Where am I? I look out into the vast nothingness. My thoughts feel especially loud in the soundless void. This can't actually be space, can it? The words that woman said before whatever she did come to mind. You can spend the rest of your miserable existence in the space between worlds. The space between worlds. Is that what this is? I try to turn around, but it's an odd feeling trying to force myself to move with nothing to move off of. Hikaru! I spot him floating next to me, just out of arm's reach. I go to him. I struggle to move towards him. After what feels like hours, I get close enough to grab onto his sleeve and pull us closer together. I look into his glossed over eyes. There's no recognition there. No, nothing. I know my voice won't be heard. I know there's no sound here, but I try anyway. Professor Kazama. I mouth the words as I shake him. Hey, Kazama! Wake up, please! Hikaru, you can't really be gone. After time stretches endlessly by with no response, I have no choice but to stop. That woman's words ring in my head, his soul torn apart. I frown and reach out to close his glassy eyes, unable to stand the lifelessness reflected back at me. Despite everything, how we were with each other, Hikaru did defend me until the very end. Above all else, in the end, you were undeniably kind and selfless. And now you're gone. I'm sorry, I didn't realize this sooner. I'm sorry I didn't try harder to understand you while you were still with me. You were my only guide in this strange world. Now you're gone and I'm so scared. Why did you leave me alone? What am I going to do alone now in this, whatever this is? I can hardly believe that we were having a drink in his living room just a little while ago. He sacrificed himself to that insane woman. But for what? I wish you were still here. I wish you could tell me what's going on. Who was that woman? What did she do? How do I get out of here? I close my eyes, hoping that I might wake up, and this will all have been just a nightmare. More time passes. I start to look for a way out of this place, though I feel too anxious to go too far and let Hikaru's body get out of sight. He's my only anchor to, well, anything really. I'm stuck floating with nothing but a corpse to keep me company. At some point, I try to talk to Hikaru, even though no sound comes out of my mouth. I try, anyway, pretending like I can talk, like he could even hear me if I could. Anything to keep my mind off of the terror of being here in absolute nothingness. Could this really be space? But if it is, how can I breathe? Thoughts like that come and go, and eventually the fear melts away. Everything does. When I get hungry enough, I figure out a way to get around by pushing myself with my magic. But even though I push myself forward, nothing seems to change. Am I actually moving anywhere? With the view staying the same from all angles, I can't tell if I'm going anywhere or just spinning in place. Ugh! I throw lightning in a random direction, but immediately flashes out of existence. Nothing seems to change, no matter what I try to do. With my surroundings never changing, I eventually lose all track of time. Does time even exist in such a place? I don't know much about this place, but it's clear both time and space have no meaning here. After what feels like centuries, I realize that I lost track of Hikaru's body too. I cry and cry until my tears run out. With nothing else to do or even think, I sleep. I sleep and wake countless times, and eventually I feel like my own mind is finally slipping away. When I see parts of me slowly fading away into nothing, I only blink. I briefly wonder if I've gone completely insane. But no, that doesn't feel right. It's that I'm fading away, becoming one with the nothingness. Oh well, is that really so bad? It's better than being alone for eternity. A small part of me, somewhere deep down, wants to argue with that. It desperately screams out, "Help me! Someone, please help!" But who's there to hear me? Finally, I smile to myself and close my eyes, letting the void take me. Pretty brutal. Oh. Wow, I didn't realize that was game over. I don't know what I did wrong. Okay, game over. Well, there's one way it can end. What's this? Did you get a bad end? Well, that won't do at all. Huh? I'm alive? With shaking hands, I reach out and gently touch my face. Solid. I feel solid and whole. But how? Wait, am I hearing things? I look around the vast, bright, empty space. It feels different from where I was before. Even though I see nothing around me, I feel like I'm standing firmly on my feet, no longer floating helplessly. Before I can investigate my new predicament any further, I realize that I can't ignore the music playing from somewhere. Why is there dance music? Because it's a fucking bop. It seems that I've gone from one strange situation to a stranger one, but I don't know yet if this one is any more dangerous than the last. Seriously, what the hell is going on? What is this place? I look around, but there's nothing to give me even the slightest hint of where I might be. I sigh and turn around. I scream and stumble back as I do, when I'm met with a terrifying-looking man before me. Y'all recognize him, right? I fall to the ground and back away from him. He stares down at me with glowing green eyes, and I find that I'm completely petrified. The man's aura is so heavy, so oppressive that I feel like I'm being squashed under an immense weight. My whole body shakes uncontrollably. What? Who are you? I am the one who pulled you back into existence, but you may call me Galen. He blinks and the glow fades. The heavy, oppressive feeling around him subsides and I gasp for air, finally able to breathe. There, that should be better. I take a deep breath and with shaky legs, I stand up. My heart pounds in my throat, but I manage to stand steady. I can do this. This is fine. I can do this. This is fine. This random person seems far less crazy than that woman, so that's a good sign. I think. There's a million questions running through my mind, but before I can even open my mouth to ask any, This music, where is it coming from? I try to think of what to say, what to ask. The thought to simply run comes to mind, but the strange music keeps playing, completely out of place with what's going on. I can't concentrate. It's hard to take anything seriously like this. Yes, the music is a little inappropriate, isn't it? I mean, I don't know, it's kind of a bop. How about this one? He snaps his fingers again. Or this one. This is so weird. Am I sure I'm not actually dead? You are very much alive. Did he just... I'm sorry, this music, I can't concentrate. Can you change it? Very well. Pick something. Serious music, as is appropriate. Battle music, because why not? Happy music, because yay. Sad music, because Hikaru. Never mind, keep this. You pick. Or sad, cause Hikaru. There. That's better, isn't it? He taps his chin. A change in scenery is in order, too. Before I can say anything, he snaps his fingers and... What? A cafe. We stand in the middle of an empty cafe, one that feels strangely familiar. Have I been here before? I hear him snap his fingers behind me. Everything around us changes in a blink of an eye once more. I stare at the beautiful sparkling lake lit by the rising sun. The feeling of familiarity follows me even here, yet I'm certain I've never been here before. Oh, yes, we have. It's so beautiful here. I close my eyes and enjoy the gentle breeze tickling my skin. I thought I'd never feel anything like this again. If he hadn't pulled me out. I turn around to face Galen, but as I do, he snaps his fingers again without comment. Our surroundings change once more, and I can't help but gasp. What is this place? Even as I ask this, I feel like I've been here before. That I've seen these statues and that fountain. I feel like there should be someone here. It's an ancient phoenix temple, built on a floating garden island. A floating garden island? Yes, go outside if you'd like to see. He gestures towards the door, and I can't pretend like I'm not curious. I walk towards the door with Galen following behind me. As I walk out, I gasp for what feels like the 100th time today. What? But... I turn around and see that the door we walked out of is gone. I thought you said we were on a floating garden island. Galen chuckles. We were, and now we're not. But... I fall silent, looking out over the shimmering skyline. Even this, it feels familiar. All of these places have, but I don't remember being in any of them. So why? I turn back to face Galen. All these places you've shown me, I feel like they're familiar somehow, but I know I've never been to any of them. I doubt you had no reason for doing this. So why? Why take me? It can't be that you're just showing off. It could be. You are correct. I'm not doing this to show off. The why is simple. You've been to all these places before. I have? Yes, but first, we should go to our last destination this time. Galen snaps his fingers again. Welcome to my realm. You're the first living being to enter in a very long time. I look from the crumbling Colosseum walls to the endless sky, to the floating objects in the distance. This place. I force myself to focus on Galen. This might sound strange, but, well, everything about this is strange, so I think you'll get it. You seem familiar somehow, but I would definitely remember meeting someone like you. You're not exactly easy to miss. And my previous question, all those places, they felt familiar too. So I want to know, what the hell is going on? Why do I feel like you and all those things are somehow familiar? Have we met before? We have met, and we haven't. In this timeline, we haven't had the chance to meet before. In others, we met sooner or later. The air around him shifts, and he instantly looks different, human. In other timelines, you knew me in this form. Sometimes looking like this. Timelines. He waves his hand and 4 windows open in the air. In each of the windows, a scene plays with me and a different person. Me with Shu, me with Tatsuya, me with Shenji, me with Takumi. What? Seeing myself like that, it's bizarre, but none of the scenes before me feel wrong. Why am I with them? I tear myself away from the windows and turn to Galen, who waves them away in an instant. You exist in many different timelines, and in each one your life and the lives of others are different in one way or another. In these particular timelines, your life splits into different directions after you choose a different partner. Really? I can't really imagine choosing anyone else, but I had wondered how my life would change if I did. There are others, of course. Ones where you're never born, ones where you go to a different school in an entirely different country, and ones where you don't receive any powers at all, living out a normal life, unaware of the existence of magic. There are more variations and alternate timelines than you can possibly comprehend, but you only need to know about a few of them. I frown. But what are you? How can you do all this? How do you know so much? You say it's your realm, but what is this place? I have many titles. One, as you know, is Galen, a name given to me recently by a friend. But for brevity's sake, I am the god of chaos. Oh, okay. Just casually dropping that. I can see the different timelines, even travel between them. Lisan al-Gaib. While everyone else gets to live their lives out in different variations and versions, I am outside everything. There is only one life for me, one never-ending existence. And this is my realm, my home, although most know it as the Forbidden Realm now. Then can you bring me back? To my realm, or whatever? I'm not sure what it is to you exactly, but to the place I'm from. And Hikaru, you brought me back, so you can bring him back too, right? That crazy woman tossed us both into the nothingness. His body was in there with me, although I lost track of him. I can't give you what you want. Not exactly. Why not? You're clearly powerful enough to. My power is that of chaos, interfering directly on that scale. It cannot happen without messing things up, to put it simply. And that crazy woman is a powerful goddess named Sunika. So that's her name. Well, we knew that somehow in the nothingness, but knowing the name of the enemy hardly makes anything better, but it is reassuring. Now I have a name to the face. A powerful goddess. I can't say I imagined any being like her in terms of appearance or actions. So why? Why did she do all that? That's something you would have to ask her yourself. What I can tell you is that she has a grudge against Hikaru, but I'm sure that was made obvious enough to you before. I nod. And now he's gone. I lost track of his body completely. Is he still out there? Or did the nothing take him too? So what now? Do I just live here or what? What are you going to do with me? I'm giving you a choice. Galen snaps his fingers, and as he does, Hikaru's body appears, peacefully hanging in the air. I take a step forward, then stop. Although he's been gone for a long time, I still feel emotional at seeing his body that I thought I'd lost. Taking a deep breath, I walk right up to him. What did you do that made Sunika angry enough to come after you? At us, like that? I want to ask him that question myself, but I force myself to look away from Hikaru, back to Galen. You said you're giving me a choice? Yes. Hickey here happens to still be alive. For now. Alive? He's really still alive? I bite my lip, desperately holding in my reactions. I will keep his body here with me, so he'll be safe. And you? You have a choice. There is a way to save him, but it is up to you. When Sunika ripped Hikaru's soul apart, she didn't destroy it. The pieces scattered, attaching to the closest familiar things that they could find. And those things happened to be Hikaru himself, within the closest timelines to your own. you have to find him again through the other timelines. In order to reach the soul fragments and retrieve them, you will have to get to know him. As you do, you'll be able to gain the soul pieces and collect them before they extinguish. So if I can collect them all, I can bring him back? Gotta catch 'em all. Yes. But how does getting to know Hikaru in different timelines help me get his soul fragments? He glances at Hikaru. By getting closer, you will become a magnet of sorts, and given the right circumstances, you'll be able to draw the soul fragments out to you. He won't want to give them to you, and they won't want to go with you, if he doesn't trust you. He snaps his fingers, and a small black star-speckled box appears before me. I react just fast enough to catch it in time. Please warn me next time. Now where's the fun in that? Yeah, the god of chaos warned me. Okay. You can summon this box once you've collected a soul fragment. I trust your magical knowledge is advanced enough for that. It will keep the fragment safe until you can come back here and transfer it back into Hikaru's body. He does, however, need one as soon as possible. I can keep him suspended for a short time, but without a soul fragment, he will expire. So I do have to urge you to begin now. Now? Yes, although this is where your choice comes in. My magic and this chance I'm giving you is not without consequence. In each cosmos you enter, anything you do can and will change things for that timeline. Are you prepared to do whatever it takes, even if it means destroying the order and other timelines? Okay, that sounds like a good place to save. I am. I'll do whatever it takes. No, I can't do that. I feel like that ends the game, so, I am. Yes, I am. I'll do whatever it takes. I can't just let him disappear out of existence like that. It's selfish, I know. I know it is, but... Galen chuckles. Very well, then. One more thing before you go. Getting to know you will help anchor Hikaru's soul more, so the more you interact with him, the less he disappears. What? Why? The time is running out. Choose where you will go first. Oh, thanks for answering my question. Okay, you just want to go around. So this is Shu, this is Shinji, this is Takomi, and this is Tatsuya. We'll just go around. Cosmos of the Phoenix. Oh, never mind. I changed my mind. If you clicked on the cosmos where you chose the Phoenix, you'll be happy. If not, then oh well. Oh, I did. Okay. You're going to the cosmos of the Phoenix first. Huh? Wait, you can't just have fun. It's my first day working at the Veritas Coffee House. It is? I'm completely nervous. It's kind of hard to be nervous when my new boss Galen, as he insists being called, is so completely relaxed and down to earth. And weird. Not only do I get a strange feeling about him, but he just acts strange. Did you just say Galen? What? I stand next to him sweeping up some coffee grinds, trying not to stare as he stacks the coffee mugs in a seemingly impossible way. Then he looks at me, us, with a knowing smile. The other me's, my voice in my head, begin to grow distant. No. What does he know? Who are you? I'm you. A different you. I gotta borrow this body for a while, so just go to sleep or something. What? The confused voice fades away, and I finally feel fully in control of my body. Alright, that felt hella weird, but at least I'm in control now. I look back to Galen. No longer paying attention to me, he sings as he stacks the cups so precariously that I'm certain they'll fall. All the while, a customer, specifically a cute but very pale man in a red hoodie, whispers to him. Galen occasionally stops singing to talk to the man. You know my rules regarding that little matter. I don't know what the man said, but at his harsh expression I immediately remember who Galen really is. As if I could really forget. I end up staring at them out of the corner of my eye while they talk. There's something about the man that seems dangerous, or maybe impish, and his steel gray eyes seem to hide many secrets behind them. Finally, the man glances my way and grins at me. Did I just see fangs? Kate, would you be a strawberry and make a black coffee for that customer near the window? Tatsuya can show you how. Galen turns back to his customer, and I get the feeling he wants me to go away. Sighing, I leave the area from behind the counter and look for Tatsuya. What I really need to do is find Hikaru. Galen sure as hell didn't give me any specific instructions either. Guess I've got no choice but to play my role for now. Tatsuya is clearing the tables, balancing stacked dishes in one arm while wiping down the table with the other. He looks like such a pro doing it that I sigh again, feeling annoyed at having to bother him. You know what they say about sighing. He continues wiping down the table while we talk. What? That your happiness will leave you? Yeah, it's pretty stupid. But I've heard it so many times it's ingrained in me. Anyway, what did you need? Help me with the coffee machine? Really? You can't even make coffee yet? No. Otherwise, why would I be asking you? Fine. Just go over there and I'll be there in a second. I do as I'm told and walk to the machine. A few minutes later, Tatsuya comes over to help. As he teaches me, I look back to where Galen is. I notice that his customer is gone. He seems to be staring at nothing in deep thought, and I wonder if I should approach him for help. Hey, are you even paying attention? Watch out! I look back down to what I'm doing and see that I've almost overfilled the coffee cup. Tatsuya reaches over to me to turn it off. His hand brushes against one of my softer areas when he does so. Accidental boob graze. Sorry, that was an accident. But would you please pay attention? This machine can be extremely dangerous if you don't use it right. It's just a coffee machine. No, listen, that's stupid, because I've burnt the shit out of my hand making a latte before. One that makes very hot drinks that I don't want to get burned by. Tatsuya glances at the bandage on my hand. But it looks as though you've already had your fair share of getting burned. I look down as well at the bandage. What the hell? What have I been up to get burned? Everything all right over there? Yes, sir. I told you to knock it off with the sir stuff. Anyway, I'll be in my office. Try not to need me, but I'll be there if you do. Like that doesn't sound weird. Galen saunters from behind the bar into the back room. Should I just leave to go find Hikaru, I wonder? But I wouldn't even know where he is at this time of day. I don't even know what day it is. At almost the exact instant the back room door slams shut, the front door opens. I'm shocked to see who it is. Professor Kazama. Oh yeah, the professor visits this place in the evenings a lot, I hear. Actually, there should be a woman coming in soon after him if the rumors are true. Tatsuya moves away to go serve the customer their coffee, leaving my questions behind. Hey there, Sith. I didn't know you started working here. I can't seem to answer properly, seeing him in there in front of me after seeing his cold, lifeless body. It takes everything I have not to cry. My heart pounding, I manage an awkward smile. I realize I don't really know what it is I should be doing now that I've found him. Today is my first day, actually. Oh, well, good luck. You look nice in your uniform. A compliment? Who is this Hikaru? Maybe he's different than mine? I somehow managed to keep the smile plastered on my face. Thank you. The front door opens and another customer comes in. This time it's a tall, gorgeous woman with dark red hair. She's so trendy and well made up that I wonder if she's a supermodel as she takes a seat next to Hikaru. Oh, could this be the woman that Tatsuya was talking about? I wonder if it's the professor's girlfriend. They'd look really good together. The thought suddenly irritates me. That he might be working me to death with homework and studying while going out with his model girlfriend. Lynn gives me an expectant look, but I'm too distracted to really understand. Her dangling earrings move with her as she cocks her head to the side. Can I order, please? A coffee would be delightful. Hey, Lynn. How are you? I'm doing quite well this evening. And you? I move to get the coffee, feeling entirely frumpy and childish in front of two such beautiful adult people. Ugh, all of this be damned. I'm just here to get his soul fragment, though I don't know how the hell do we even do that. And how am I supposed to get close to him with his girlfriend here? Thoroughly annoyed with the course of events, I turn back around instead. Professor, can I speak with you alone? Lynn laughs, making us turn to her. She leans in and props herself up on the counter with her elbow. She looks right at me, her green eyes sparkling with amusement. You're gonna have to try harder than that. I'll help. Galen's voice rings through my mind. What? I glance back at his office door, but it remains tightly shut. I'm not hearing things now, am I? The air around Lynn shimmers and shifts. Piece by piece, her image breaks away, revealing the smiling Galen in his human form. Hikaru shoots up from his seat. What the fuck, Galen? Wait, so he knows Galen? What the hell is this? I was curious how long it would take you to notice it's me. Hikaru takes a deep breath before speaking. You know what? Fuck you, Galen. I'll deal with you later. With that, Hikaru storms out of the place, slamming the front door behind him as he leaves. The loop of time is now broken. Run after him. His words break me out of my stupor. I dart past the stun-looking Tatsuya and run out the door. Professor? Professor Kazama! Hikaru, wait! I chase after Hikaru through the night crowds, yelling his name. I see his broad back stop. He slowly turns back to me, his expression betraying nothing. I stop when I finally catch up to him. Ah, crap. I didn't think. What do I say? I shake off the uncertainty and look up at him. Professor, I need to talk to you. It's about something important. Hikaru merely stares back before nodding. I can tell whatever you have to say is serious. I'm going somewhere else to drink, though. Why don't you get changed and we can talk there? Isn't it a bit like a date? Ugh, no. Stuff like that doesn't matter right now. Focus. I clear my head, nod, going back quickly to change out of my work uniform. Hikaru was apparently a man of his word. I was almost surprised to find him still waiting for me outside when I finished. We quietly walk to a classy lounge nearby. As we take a seat by the bar, I look around. I feel entirely out of place here, with Hikaru's good looks and my plain outfit. The bartender comes up to us shortly after we take a seat. Give me 4 bottles of your strongest stuff. 4 bottles? God damn. Is he serious? That much alcohol? Is he trying to get blackout drunk? So what is this all about? Hikaru's voice snaps me out of my thoughts, reminding me of what I'm here for. How do I explain everything? Lead up to it. Yeah, I don't know if we could just say. I know he's a demigod, but I don't know. Do you remember Sunika? Hikaru immediately narrows his eyes. How do you know about her? Have you been stalking me? What? No, it's complicated. I'm listening. I'm from another timeline. I was sent here by Galen because Sunika shattered your soul and I'm trying to save you. Save me? Yes, save the other you. The Hikaru from my timeline. Right. Well, it sounds like Galen tricked you. He messes around like this all the time, as you just saw. Nothing better to do with his time, I guess. The bartender sets down Hikaru's bottles. Hikaru immediately grabs one and chugs it straight down. Professor? Why did you order all of that? Because I need it tonight. Hikaru takes the bottle away from his lips for a moment. If you're done here, you can go home. Sorry about Galen. Like I said earlier, I'll deal with him later. What? Go home? I stand up quickly and slam both of my hands onto the bar, staring straight into Hikaru's eyes. I saw you die, damn it! Sunika tried to kill me, and you saved me, and that's why I have to save you. Because I owe you. Because you protected me. I'm not letting you blow me off like this. Hikaru stares at me wordlessly, seeming too stunned to speak. That's when I feel a hand on my shoulder and see a hand appear on Hikaru's as well. A soothing female voice comes from behind me. We shouldn't make a scene. I look up and see a young woman standing there. The woman is stunningly beautiful. Her blue eyes are so bright and clear that they draw you in, make you want to lose yourself in them. She stands tall in her long flowing white gown. The dress doesn't look too out of place in a fancy place like this, but there's something about her that makes her immediately stand out. Hikaru looks at the woman with wide eyes. Mother! Mother? How the hell can this beautiful young woman be Hikaru's mother? She looks way too young to... Wait, unless Hikaru is a demigod, so could she be a goddess? Hikaru's mother merely smiles and sits down on the seat in between us. I take a seat on the other side of her, still unable to get out of my shaken state. Kate, in these lands, I'm called Haruka no Kaze. But you can call me Haruka, since I already like you and everything. Like me? You're saving my super serious son, aren't you? So I like you. Haruka turns to Hikaru and pinches his cheek. I've missed you so. I can't believe you're actually here. It's been a long time. Haruka nods. I wish we could be meeting on happier terms. Does that mean... Hikaru looks at me, around Haruka. Is what this girl is saying the truth? Yes. I came because I feel that something was terribly wrong. When I checked on you... We don't have much time. Gala's having Kate, and I'm going to assist alongside him as well. However, time... It's already changed here. Can't you feel it, Hikaru? Something is wrong. I think that you'll need to be prepared for anything, and that Kate should quickly get out of here. Haruka rises, but not before giving her son a hug. I have to go, but I'll be watching over you, as always. You have all my love, Hikaru. Thank you, Mother. I feel the same. With that, Haruka simply disappears, seemingly completely unnoticed by the patrons of the lounge. I look back at Hikaru. She said I should go quickly, but I don't know what I should do to get your soul fragment. Hikaru looks at me seriously. If what you said is true, then the fragment won't want to stay with me anyway. It's not meant to be with me. I should be willingly give it up if I feel like I can trust you. And I do. I can see that you sincerely want to save the other me, and my mother herself came. It's obvious things are serious. Hikaru turns to me and closes his eyes. He holds out a hand to his chest and inclines his head slightly. I gasp. Light seems to coalesce between his fingers. Then, in midair, an aqua-colored gem forms. It's small, and clearly only a shard of something bigger. So, that's his soul piece. It's beautiful. I force myself to snap out of it and focus on summoning the box that Galen gave me. I suddenly feel it in my hands, as if I'd always been holding it. I open the box and hold it under the gem. It drops out of the air, straight into the box, and I immediately close the lid. I got it. I got the first soul piece. Hikaru opens his eyes, and I bow my head to him. Thank you, Professor. Thank you so much. I don't know how I would have done it without your help. The Hikaru of that universe. He's lucky, I think. I look up at him. What do you mean? I'm not entirely sure, but I wish you luck. Be careful. Chaos is the most dangerous power in the universe. Hikaru goes back to his drink and I move away from the bar. I look down at the box in my hand and breathe in deeply. Maybe this won't be as hard as it sounds. I look around. What now, though? Should I head back to Veritas or what? I catch a flash of red hair in the reflection of a glass, but as I turn, no one's there. Beam me up, Scotty, I mumble under my breath jokingly. But suddenly, I feel a strange tug, like a hand on my shoulder pulling me back. Upon being summoned back to the Chaos Realm, I see that Haruka is standing next to Galen. You're here? Of course. Galen is one of my most favorite and oldest friends. Well, I guess if you think about it, he really is the oldest. Anyway, I'll be staying here to watch over you and Hikaru together with him from now on. You can call out to me at any time. I'm not much of a fighter, but I will try to help guide however I can. And Hikaru and I do have a special bond that might help. Wait just a moment. I have something to give you. Haruka holds out her hand and a small white light coalesces in her palm, becoming a silver earring. This is the matching earring to the one Hikaru wears. They both used to be mine, but I gave him the other one when he was a child. With Galen's help, I was able to send a message to all of Hikaru's across all relevant timelines. I explained what had happened to this Hikaru. Haruka looks sadly over at her son's floating body. and told them that a girl would be coming to gather the soul fragment of his that had attached itself to their soul. I told them that she would have this earring so that they'd believe you. I take the earring in my palm. It's a divine item, so you should be able to summon it no matter what world you're in. Thank you. Thank you for trying to save my son. I hope it aids you in your quest. I nod and look at the earring gently sparkling in my hand. Yes, I hope so too. I look to Galen, who immediately smiles at me, as if he already knows what I'm about to say. It's time for you to collect the other remaining fragment from the Hikaru where you chose the phoenix. As Galen's eyes glow, I feel like I'm being pushed by some invisible force. I take a deep breath and close my eyes. With a start, I wake up to sunlight streaming through the stained glass of a ballroom. What the hell? Desperately, I try to gather myself and understand my situation as quick as I can. I try to move, but quickly realize I'm bound by chains to a chair. Fear moves through my body in waves, but after a brief look around, I confirm that there's no one around. Oh, what the hell? What has this me been up to? I struggle against the chains, but they don't budge. You're back. Sorry, I'm moving my microphone because it's kind of blocking the... There we go. A voice in my head, one much like my own, talks back to me in my head. The other me, the one whose body I'm inhabiting. She's still aware? It feels strange to have the other me still be aware of herself, myself, even with me being in control of the body. You remember me? Yes. I'm sorry. I have to take over again, but what's going on? No answer. Has she, me, whatever, has she already gone dormant? I can't waste time. I shouldn't. Even though I know it's futile, I try to pull my hands and feet out of my bindings. Suddenly I hear footsteps and I feel like my heart just drops right to my stomach. I can't turn around, even if I tried, so I am left wondering who it is. Who the fuck did I get in this situation? Or who did I fuck with? Who did I kill? Strike that. Reverse it. Who did I fuck with to get into this situation? Why can't I have gone to another world where me lives a perfectly boring life and doesn't, oh, I don't know, get fucking kidnapped? Or whatever the situation is. A man soon comes into view. For a moment I forget everything. The strange man is beautiful. There's no other way to put it. With his porcelain skin and sculpted face, I briefly wonder if he's not actually some Roman statue come to life. My stomach twists into knots. He can't be another god. Can he? Just who is he? Why am I here? And how do I get out? Aeolius, a dark phoenix. My mind gives me one of the answers, at least. I look at the man before me. He's holding an old-looking, intricately carved box in one hand and some sort of jar in the other, though I can't see what's in it. He sets it on a gold leaf and glass table that's placed near where I'm sitting. Aeolius stands in front of it so that I can't get a better look at the items. He just stares at me, vaguely smiling about I don't know what. A number of emotions run through me. Fear, frustration, helplessness, and despair, most of all. I'm supposed to go find Hikaru, but how can I? I need to get out of here, somehow. I try to glare at Aeolius with as much anger and hatred as I can muster. Seeing my expression, Aeolius chuckles in amusement. He moves closer and leans down so that his face is right in front of mine. Hate me all you like, little butterfly. It won't change a thing. My face doesn't change, though, and Aeolius walks back to the table. With his back to me so that I can't see, he begins to take things out of the box he brought. See, I just noticed that this is... Yeah. I bite my lip as I watch him work. My heart races a mile a minute, and my eyes dart around the enormous ballroom. Crap. What do I do? Galen! Help! The plea for help tumbles out of my lips before I can truly think about it. Aeolius turns back to me with a laugh. Help! There is no help for you. Aeolius chokes on his words and stumbles back, grabbing onto the table in an attempt to steady himself. What's going on? He screams and falls to his knees, knocking over everything from the table as he falls. The sound of shattering glass and the pained screams of Iulius blend into a perfect harmony. Chained up as I am, I can only watch in horror as his eyes turn green and burst into flame. The green flames spread over his body, and with one last bright flash, he crumbles into green ash. What the hell was that? I hear a chuckle in my mind. You asked for my help, and so I gave it. Do try to get yourself out next time. What? I thought he wasn't supposed to interfere directly. I stared down at the pile of green ashes. I can't quite decide if Galen's help was overkill or not. He got rid of him so easily, without even being in the same realm as the guy. I shiver and try to push away the thoughts of what would happen if I had to go against someone like him. As I try to get up, I realize that my bindings still remain firmly in place. Hello? Any help with this? No answer. I sigh. I guess I'm supposed to get myself out of this somehow. With no imminent threat in sight, I put all my focus towards my bindings. How should I do this? Melt it? No, I don't particularly feel like burning myself right now. Or, well, the least I can do for this me is not harm her body. So I need something that would help me avoid bodily harm. Oh, I know. The metal around my wrists and feet slowly ices over, creaking as the ice slowly spreads. It feels so cold against my skin. Too cold, but I refuse to let it distract me. As the chains become completely enveloped in ice, I give it one good tug and they simply break away. I look up and slowly look around the ballroom. As I turn, I see her, just standing there. Oh, no. This just won't do. You don't understand. I was going to enjoy that. Sunika slowly walks up to Iulius's pile of ashes and before turning around to face me. Do you even know what torture is? Torture is being sealed away for centuries, while those who murdered your love roam free. But I guess I'll just have to get my fun in some other way. I can see it. Galen, that bastard, he's helping you, isn't he? Oh, I know, so surprising. But do you really think you can hide something like that from a goddess like me? No. I can see it. I can see the traces of chaos all around you. I can smell its stench. My natural enemy. But I'm a flexible girl, you know. A go-with-the-flow kind of girl. Time's flow, that is. And so I'll weave a pretty picture using the chaos you've brought into this realm, Galen. With that, Sunika jumps and starts to spin round and round, with her hands moving in a wave, laughing. But she isn't looking at me. As she continues to spin, the fabric of time appears to loosen and unravel around us, and I tense. I stand ready to fight her, waiting for her to hit me with something. My mind races, trying to come up with something, anything that could help me prepare for her attack. But I can't predict her. I know I can't. Sunika stops, her outstretched hand pointing at Shu's urn. I dive towards it, but it's already too late. A blinding white light fills my vision, and I'm flung backwards by a powerful blast of energy. My ears ring. I blink several times, trying to get my vision back. As my vision returns, I see Shu standing before me, only he looks different. Everything in me screams that something is very wrong with Shu. Shu has resurrected, but it's not him. Not quite. Sunika laughs. Momentarily, my eyes fall on her. I blink, and she's already gone, leaving me with this Shu. He stands in place, quietly looking down at his hands. I hold my breath and watch him. Shu, he's actually back. Wait, what? What do you mean back? Where did he... Tears spill forth from my eyes, even though I don't know why. It appears that my other self has managed to break through again. He was killed by Iulius. That urn, those were his ashes. That woman brought him back somehow. But he looks so different. What did she do to him? Seriously? What the hell have you guys been up to in this timeline? Her last words sadly fade away into the depths of my mind, leaving me with no answer. Shu? I try to call out to him, despite every cell in my body screaming for me not to. Wordlessly, he turns to me and tilts his head. There is no recognition in his eyes. No, nothing. only an endless darkness. Shu, what happened to you? Dark flames gather at Shu's hands, so black that they don't look real. I can only duck out of the way when he starts to fling fireball after fireball at me. My training with Hikaru kicks in and I dodge and roll, dancing out of the way of Shu's attacks. With each attack, he gets more accurate and more frequent, leaving me no time to erect a barrier. I could attack, but it's Shu. No matter what Sunika did, it's still Shu. I don't want to hurt him. When I dodge yet another of his fireballs, Shu screeches in rage and throws his hands up in the air. A ring of fire blazes up around me. Shit! It slowly inches around me and I start to feel the intense heat on my skin. A sudden gust of wind twirls around me so quickly that the fire around me is out, before I can even fully comprehend what happened. As the flames clear away, I see Hikaru standing before Shu. Are you all right? He glances back at me, just long enough to see me nod at him. I catch the other three out of the corner of my eye. Did they all come to save me? They can't have known about Shu, though. Shu looks even angrier than before at having Hikaru stand between me and him. His eyes shine with pure rage. Takumi, grab Kate while I focus Shu's attacks on myself. On it! No, wait! Takumi dives on me and rolls with me to the ground, just as Shu lands a hit to where I was a millisecond ago. The heat of the fireball is so intense that it melts the part of the marble where it hit. I don't even want to imagine what would have happened to me if I'd been hit with that. Tatsuya summons a thick ice barrier all around all of us as we watch Hikaru take on Shu. Shu yells in anger when he sees me hidden away by Tatsuya. But before he can attack me, Hikaru steps in the way, blocking me out of Shu's view. Much like before, Shu begins to throw fireball after fireball at Hikaru, who guides each one away with the flow of wind. Shu is unrelenting in his attacks, and it starts to look like Hikaru is tiring out. He touches his earring for a moment, but then hesitates. And in that moment of hesitation, one of Shu's attacks gets through. Hikaru narrowly moves out of the way, and the fireball singes his jacket as it flies past him. Lightning cuts through the ballroom, narrowly missing Shu. The sudden flash of light stops him in his tracks. Hikaru immediately takes the opportunity to send a powerful gust of wind at Shu, knocking Shu back into the wall. He slides down, dazed. Hikaru walks up to him, an orb of light in his hand, eyes silently threatening. Hikaru looks down at him with disgust in his eyes. Shu lies totally still, and I can tell there must be magic at work. If you manage to move, I will use this. What's happened to you, Shu? I get it. It's obvious that you're a Dark Phoenix now, but how could you attack your friends? How the hell could you attack Kate? Yeah. Well, he's possessed, you see. Kate? Shu looks confused, and I could swear I see something like recognition flash in his eyes, but that's gone as quick as it appears. Whatever happened, you clearly came back wrong. I have to explain. This all happened because of Sunika. I yell from where I am with the other boys. Hikaru's eyes go wide as he turns to look at me. Sunika? How do you know that name? Did you come back? Yes, I did. I have the earring. I can prove it's really me. But this wasn't Shu's fault. I don't know what the hell is happening here or what a Dark Phoenix is, but she's the one who resurrected Shu. I think she messed him up somehow. What are you talking about, Kate? Sunika, what? The Weaver of Time did something to Shu? I don't answer, only biting my lip as I stare at Shu and Hikaru. Hikaru looks exceptionally grim as he looks back at Shu. Silence falls upon the room. If she's messed you up somehow, then maybe you'll... If you're truly a Dark Phoenix now, then you should be able to come back from death. And maybe you'll come back right this time. Professor, you don't mean... No, you can't seriously be thinking of doing that. I don't see any other way out of this. Hikaru snaps back. Professor, we can't risk this. Let's not make a hasty decision now. What? Does he seriously mean to kill Shu? I can't have him kill someone because of what I brought into this timeline. I step out from behind the ice barrier and run to Hikaru. Wait, Kate, it's too dangerous. I hear Takumi yell from behind me, but I ignore him and grab onto Hikaru's arm as I reach him. Let go, Kate. I emphatically shake my head. No way! I have no idea what a Dark Phoenix is or if Shu can resurrect by himself, but I can't let you do this. Not because of me, what Sunika did. Whoop, you need to find another way. I'm sure you can find another way. Shu struggles against whatever invisible force that's holding him down. Hikaru pushes me away so roughly that I end up falling. The orb of light that he's been holding molds itself into the shape of a sword. No! Angry tears begin to flow down his face. I've made too many mistakes because of my weakness. I won't let an out-of-control menace like him go around killing innocent people. But there might be a way to cure him. Don't let your past guilt decide this. At least give him a chance. She's right. You can't just decide that Shu is beyond saving. Yeah, she's right. Why not capture him? At least let us do some research and see if we can reverse this before killing him. Please, Hikaru. He's an innocent. He's innocent. He's our innocent little boy. Shoot. Are you really so bloodthirsty? He's an innocent in this. Well, I didn't mean the first part. I don't think we need to say that. Hikaru wipes his eyes roughly. That doesn't matter, because he'll take even more innocent lives and become a murderer. I know he'd never want that. His voice is quiet and strained. Shu mindlessly struggles under Hikaru's power, but it's useless. It's as if it all happens in slow motion. Hikaru brings the sword of light above his head and swings it downwards, immediately piercing Shu through the heart. No! Not like this! Not like this.
Not like this.
Not like
Not
this.
like this.
Shu! I sink down to the ground. My whole body feels numb as I watch Shu's body fall apart and turn into black ash. No. What have you done? Ah, Shu. The moment that the Hikaru of that timeline killed Shu was the moment that his soul fragment was lost. That one act caused a chain reaction, making the other soul pieces disappear too. There was nothing else I could do. I'm so sorry, Hikaru. I'm sorry I couldn't save you. I'm sorry. Haruka wouldn't look me in the eyes after that. She just disappeared, back to her own realm, as Galen told me. And as for the god of chaos himself, he sent me home, back to the realm that I originally came from. No one remembered Hikaru. It was as if he was never born, erased from time completely. Sunika must be pleased. And me? I've been trying to live, but all I ever feel anymore is guilt. I don't think I will ever forget, not even with eternity before me. I fucked that up somehow. Okay, I guess I have to say the other thing. At least give him a chance. I don't want his death on my conscience. Fine. Tatsuya and Shenji, you want him alive? You figure out some way to contain him. Hikaru crouches down and touches the angry Shu's head. He closes his eyes, murmuring the words, sleep. Shu's eyes immediately roll back into his head and his body relaxes completely. He's out like a light. Why didn't we just do that? I sigh in relief, and the other three men immediately run to Shu's side. Hikaru walks over to me and helps me off the ground. He mumbles, sorry. Is it true that Sunika was here? Are you really the Kate from before? I summon Haruka's earring to the palm of my hand, and Hikaru picks it up, turning it this way and that. Mother. He seems wistful before giving it back to me. I'm glad I didn't have to use mine. Hikaru reaches up and touches his matching earring. And I'm thankful you convinced me to get myself under control, Kate. But why did you come back? What? I see. I still felt like something wasn't right. You need the other Hikaru's soul fragment, don't you? It seems like I wasn't able to give you all of it last time. I nod. Yes, and I promise I'll try to fix all of this in return. Hopefully. I mean, maybe. If it's possible, I'll find a way. Hikaru simply stares at me and then nods. If anyone can find a way, it's that annoying god. Aw, annoying. I'm hurt. He thinks me so. I almost jump out of my skin at Galen's sudden interjection, but manage to keep myself from visibly reacting. Hikaru repeats the soul fragment ritual, the same as he did in the bar, and I quickly capture the shard in the box. With it safely inside and the lid firmly closed, I grip onto the box. I did it. One more piece. I look down at Shu for a moment. I'm sorry this happened to you. I look back at Hikaru. Good luck, Hikaru. Hikaru gives me a curt nod back, looking down at Shu. I think you'll be the one who needs it the most. Dealing with gods is never easy. Or simple. I can certainly see that. I can't say that I'm happy, but I'm thankful I could at the very least stop Shu's immediate death. Take me away, O Captain. I mumble under my breath, and I once again feel a tug on my shoulder. And I'm off to see the wizard. I pulled backwards out of myself. Control. Guilt. Should I have controlled my guilt and emotions before making the decision to come to these timelines? Have I made a terrible mistake? Okay, I guess we're gonna have to save a little more often in this timeline. Or story. Timeline, whatever. I find myself back in my own body, back in Galen's realm, and I sigh. Welcome back. You've done well. Indeed, very well done. I don't feel like I've done well. Well, nobody died. That's always a good sign to me. Galen chuckles. Not permanently, at least. Yet. It's very true that Shu could have already been killed by my darling. Seriously? Well, time isn't linear, of course, and if they can't figure out a way to save him, then killing him would be the only option. But let's try to focus on your accomplishments. Let's not think about that right now. You've got another soul fragment. Isn't that great, Galen? Galen quietly nods, but I can't even imagine what he might be thinking. That's true. I don't know. I wonder if I jumped into this too fast. I might have only been thinking of my own guilt. Maybe that's true. But I'm really grateful for it, as his mother. Maybe that makes me an evil goddess, but I'm really thankful for what you're doing. To have your soul destroyed, there are not many worse fates. Hikaru doesn't deserve that. Thank you. That makes me feel a bit better. I did have a question, though. Yes? Hikaru's past. He mentioned past guilt. Do you know why? I think so. I've watched over Hikaru since the day he was born. He's encountered many hardships in trying to help people, trying to do the right thing. I was always so proud, though. My baby boy is so brave. Still, bravery isn't always enough. He's failed many times and made many more mistakes. For someone with Hikaru's personality, that means guilt plagues him every day of his life. I see. Any more than that, you should ask Hikaru himself when you save him. Yeah, you're right. Thanks. What cosmos would you like to visit next? Do I really have a choice? I don't know. I don't know if it matters. Espros, go say hi to Shenji. Maybe. Oh yeah, okay. I'm walking this time, behind someone with magenta-colored hair and a broad back. Shenji? Yeah. Eh? Who are you? I'm you, but stronger. Seriously? Yeah, literally. So, could you go away for a bit now? I need to borrow your body. What the hell? No way! Listen, you. Shinji stopped so abruptly that I almost walked face first into his back. Took you long enough. The voice sounds familiar. Shinji laughs at the non-greeting. I'm here on time. You're just early. Got nothing better to do on a Saturday? I did have a thing planned, but nothing serious. I just told her I had an emergency. It actually worked out better this way for me. I moved from behind Shinji. Both me and the other me nearly gasp out loud at who we see. Professor Kazama? Since I'm used to weird shit by now, I recover quickly than my other self. In that moment of shock, I mentally shoved the other me away. What, and she just let you cancel the date? No drama, no tears? Mostly. Hikaru's Aqua's eyes moved to mine. He smiles up at me as he takes a sip of his drink. Ah, so this is who you brought along. I'm not sure that I've ever seen him smile like that, and definitely not at me. My stomach feels odd, tied up in knots. It'd be nice if he smiled at me like that more. Hello, Professor Kazama. Shinji chuckles at my awkward reaction as he sits down. Not knowing what else to do, I sit down too. I nearly jump out of my seat when a drink is suddenly placed before me. I look up to see an unfamiliar face. Here you go, on the house. I want to say no, but I quickly realize that he brought drinks for everyone. Since when did on Shinji's tab become on the house? Who knows? Drink up and don't complain. Shinji rolls his eyes, but does just as the man suggested. He quietly takes a sip of his drink instead of saying anything more. I don't get a chance to say thank you before the man salutes us and walks back to the bar. I look down at my glass. It's not exactly what I normally drink, but it's free. I have to be grateful. If you're wondering how he knew what to get you, I texted him before we came in. Oh? Well, thanks. This me must have slightly different tastes than I do. How strange. With drinks flowing, I start to feel braver and begin thinking over how to approach the situation. Well, I can't get rid of Shinji, but I can strike up a conversation. Start gaining his trust. I never realized that you two were actually friends. Friends and drinking buddies. They answer me in sync, as if it's something they've had to answer many times before. So I see. Just how did you become friends, then? They glance at each other, smiles unchanging. I just can't get used to seeing the normally stern professor like this. We met while I was still a student. Me, Hiki, and Tatsu end up being thrown together for a group assignment. Hikaru chuckles. Only because you two wouldn't stop bickering like an old married couple. Shinji shrugs. That still hasn't changed in years. Speaking of my darling hubby, I nearly choke on my drink. If he were here, it'd really be like old times. If he heard you call him that, he'd make a scene. Then I might just do that next time I see him. You might as well just marry him already. I'd be rejected before I even got halfway through the sentence. I quietly sip on my drink as I watch the two interact. Hikaru seems to have a long and varied history. He told me this was his first year teaching. He was a student just before that. I bet he made a lot of good friends. While me, I haven't been able to get close to anyone. All I do is study. I feel a slight stab of jealousy. I know it's ridiculous and completely illogical to feel like this, but I feel jealous of the people who were able to get close to him, of the people who were there to witness that history, that were able to be there for him. Hikaru's past is still a mystery to me, but something inside me wants to know more about it, wants to know more about him. There's so many sides of him I haven't seen yet. I want to see more. A heavy sigh comes from next to me at the bar. I glance over and see Sunika, of all people, sitting there. Why won't you die? Get out of here. I don't like you. My heart stops cold. What? What do you want? But Sunika doesn't appear to be making a move, other than tracing the rim of her glass with who knows what is in it. How the hell didn't I spot her before? The moment I ask myself that is the moment I realize the answer to my own question. Sunika is a goddess, a powerful one at that. If she didn't want me, or anyone, to spot her, then no one would. Judging by the look on his face, Hikaru spots her too, which makes Shinji turn and look as well. You two know that woman? Sunika glances at Shinji. You know, kid, I was just thinking. You look like a Fae King I used to advise for. He had hair just like yours. Fierce temper, though. Still, it was fun. What is she doing? Is she actually trying to have a conversation with us? That was one of the better times I lived in. It was so peaceful in Avalon with Tokyo. Usually I liked places that were more lively and bustling, but Tokyo really loved peaceful areas like that. There was a time when Fae were peaceful? Oh, don't get me wrong. The Fae were as treacherous as they always are, conniving and violent. It was what made my job fun. I can't help it. Despite myself, I'm curious. Why would someone like you need a job? When you can see the future, you're the perfect advisor. When you feel like it. Like I said, it was fun. There are lots of things I can't change. But in my own little ways, I can cause chaos. I can't imagine why Sunika is here rambling on about her past, other than the fact that she's crazy. But seeing as she's being docile and I don't actually have any other options available, I continue to listen. Sunika's demeanor changes completely then. No way. It wasn't like that for Tokyo, though. He loved the land itself. The forests, the lakes and oceans, the architecture of the Fae even. Oh, I thought it was for the worse. She's gonna keep going. The curious look he'd get on his face when he found something that interested him. It was adorable. With him, I learned to see what life could be, even if I didn't know my true purpose, my divine destiny. If I could spend eternity with him, I wouldn't need anything else. Hikaru's face softens. Sunika. Hikaru glances at me and then suddenly touches his earring. I give him an imperceptible nod. He must have figured it out. I guess Sunika being here suddenly like this would be a pretty big clue. I never had the chance to know your lover, but from what I heard, he was extremely kind. Whatever you're up to, isn't it true he wouldn't want you living your life like this, hurting others? The moment Hikaru says that, I feel the previously relaxed atmosphere turn heavy, oppressive. How could you of all people say that to me? You have no idea of anything about him, or about anything about the truth of what happened to him. The feeling increases and every hair in my body begins to stand on end. Yet, you meddled in affairs you didn't understand. I want to run. Everything is telling me I should run, but I can't move. It's an effort to even force air into my lungs. You're the reason. Is this? That I lost track of those who took him away from me. You're the reason I can't avenge Tokyo. Is this the power of a goddess? You can't possibly know the pain of losing the other part of your soul. Sunika's tiny body begins to float in the air as she screams. Floating in place, she unleashes her power. The ice in the glass I'm holding suddenly turns to water, while the wooden bar stool under me crumbles to dust. Glass shatters and turns to dust all around the bar as we're forced to retreat from the epicenter of the destruction. Well, that's just bound to happen every time she shows up. Isao stands behind the bar, completely frozen in time. One of the patrons of the bar tries to run out the door, but she turns into dust before she can even take a few steps. Another patron rapidly de-ages before my eyes, becoming a child. He cries and runs to hide under a table. Glancing at the people suffering around us, Hikaru steps forward towards Sunika, protecting his eyes with one hand. Sunika! Maybe you're right, that I don't know that exact pain. But I do know what it's like to lose someone I love. The woman I loved most. I feel a pang of hurt at his words. But unlike me, Hikaru's words have no effect on Sunika. Her powers just intensify. Hikaru steps back and sighs, throwing up some kind of light barrier to protect us from the effects of Sunika's magic. He stands there with his hands raised up, as if physically holding the barrier up to keep it going with all that he has. Shinji quickly moves his hands in a complicated-looking series of moves, and a light purple barrier doubles up on Hikaru's white one. There's no way to stop her, is there? No, not permanently. There is a ritual to seal her away, but she wouldn't allow that to happen a second time. Can't we still try? She's destroying everything. I don't know the full ritual, only that someone must hold her down while it's being performed. Right, so that's a no-go then. They both fall silent as they look at the bad goddess. Everything not within the barrier has been destroyed in one way or another. Galen, if you can hear me, we could really use some help right about now. I half expect Galen to ignore my plea for help, but I can clearly hear his deep voice in my head. My interference here would only cause more destruction at this time. You just need to get the soul fragment and get out of there, before you yourself suffer a fate worse than death. Haruka's quiet advice sends a shiver down my spine. I avoid looking anywhere other than at Hikaru. I don't want to look at what happened to the other people in the bar. Is there no end to her madness? My heart feels heavy as stone. I find that I can barely breathe, and this time, it isn't because of Sunika's immense aura. I guess this is what happens when you're dealing with the divine. Shinji, Kate, I want you to go. I'm the only one here who could possibly survive this. Hikaru runs a hand through his hair, clearly stressed. I'm half god, but my true form is unstable. I can't be trusted. So I need you two to escape. No. She has to be stopped, and you're in the way. Why don't I want to go so badly? I don't want to leave him. But he's not even mine. My Hikaru. He'll never be. So why? Ugh, get it together, Kate. In the midst of chaos, I summon the earring in my palm. Hikaru merely stares at me. Then he nods. I'll give you the other Hikaru's soul fragment, and then you need to leave. The god within me, he won't go down without a fight. I'll lose control either way at this rate. Shinji briefly glances at me, and I wonder if he might say something. He looks back at Hikaru with a strange glint in his eyes. I'm not leaving you, and don't even try to argue with me. In a flash of light, Shinji transforms into what looks like full armor. We'll fight together. Shinji me all you want. I'm not leaving you to fight alone. A fae and a demigod together might stand a somewhat better chance against a goddess. Hikaru doesn't say anything, but a small smile tugs at his lips. It'll be like old times, right? Fighting insane divines? The two men exchange glances. With a nod, Shinji holds up his hands to hold the barrier in place, just as Hikaru lets go and turns to face me. We don't have much time. He closes his eyes and places his hands over his chest. And just like before, he quickly calls out the other Hikaru's soul fragment. I hear Sunika scream out in rage, and I almost freeze up in terror. I force myself to summon the soul box. The moment that I shut the box around the soul fragment, I feel a tug on my soul. No, wait! Go, now. The last thing I see is a bright light forming around Hikaru and the barrier disintegrating. Ah. They all die in all the timelines. Shinji. No. I nearly collapse upon returning back to my own body. The drastic difference between the adrenaline and stress I was feeling versus the calmness of this body is disorienting. Haruka walks over to me and helps steady me. Are you alright, Kate? I don't know. Probably not. I nod, and pushing my glasses back, stand up as straight and tall as I can. I calmly look Haruka in her eyes. I have to know how she can keep doing this. Haruka. Yes? Don't you have any attachment to the other Hikarus and the other timelines? Of course, I am its mother. So how is it you can just watch something like that happen? What else am I supposed to do? The answer shocks me, especially from someone like her. You're a goddess. Surely you can go down and help him. But I'm not strong enough. It's then that Galen strolls up to us. He glances at Haruka's distressed face and then looks at me. Gods are the keepers of the universal order. They are bound by many rules, and as such, they cannot change things, not unless they are meant to be. Even the smallest of changes can result in utter chaos, and that goes against their very being, seeing as they were born out of and for order. I frown up at him. But Galen, are you not a god too? You speak as if what Haruka is completely different. You seem to be able to change things, and aren't you bound by any rules? Only self-imposed ones. He is the god of chaos. The only thing we truly share is that we are both called gods, but that's a story for another time. But back to the topic at hand. They cannot interfere with things easily, and gods aren't all of the same power. Some are more powerful, some are less. Sunika happens to be a particularly powerful one, and as such, there is little that Haruka would be able to do against her. Oh, I'm sorry, Haruka. I shouldn't have presumed. Haruka quietly stares at the ground, and I begin to regret going down this particular path. But before I can say anything else, she looks up at me with a sad smile. It's okay. I wish I were stronger, and braver too. That's why I respect my son so much. No matter what timeline it is, he's always someone who fights to protect others. His life is never easy, so sometimes he can seem very harsh. But it's because of the kindness in his heart that he endlessly fights to protect others' happiness. Kindness? It's not a side of Hikaru I felt I had really seen before all of this began. But thinking back, I began to think that Haruka is right. Hikaru was strict, and sometimes almost rude, but he never treated me badly. Hikaru seems to be a complex man. He is. Not many actually take the time to really get to know him. But he has many sides to himself, and always has a reason for what he does. I hope you've begun to understand him a little better too. I nod. Something in me believes that I have, but I feel there's so much left to still uncover. There's still so much I don't know, but I'll keep going until I figure it out. We'll just go around. Going around the wheel of chaos. Cosmos is the detective. Takumi. Alright, we'll save in case I fuck this up. I can feel myself shaking. I can't take my eyes off of the motionless form on the ground. Blood is pouring from everywhere, the man's eyes, ears, and mouth, and for some reason, my hands are up. Did I do this? I feel a wave of nausea come over me, looking at the man on the floor. I can hear the other me thinking in the background, too stunned to realize my presence. Is he... I take the opportunity to wrest mental control away from her, despite how horrified I am. Looking around the room, I see a small woman with transparent wings and two black-haired men fighting hooded men, clearly winning as they take down their opponents. Seriously though, what the hell is going on here? I hear a metallic click right next to my head and the feeling of cold metal suddenly against my temple. I can't even turn around to see who it is. In this moment of stillness and absolute fear, my eyes drift to the center of the room, where Takumi, of all people, is grappling with a man in a hood. I'm with Takumi? I see bodies everywhere in the room, and I have no idea where I am or what's going on. This is his mess? My God, just what kind of awful shit is he into? He's lying on the floor, on his back, a knee in the vampire's stomach as he's relentlessly stabbing him. I feel my knees threaten to buckle beneath me at the image. Why am I in this situation? What the hell is wrong with this me? My stomach seizes up in fear and disgust, but I know if I make one wrong move now, I'll have a bullet in my head. What happens if I die here? Is this me immortal too? Tossing the vampire off of him, Takumi rolls to his knees and is about to get up when he looks up at me. Then at the gun pointed right at me. And finally, at whoever is holding the gun to my head behind me. The person moves slightly and I can finally see my assailant, though it gives me no comfort. No. There are some questions you should be asking yourself right now. Should yet another person die because of you? Is your comatose brother really worth your pretty girl dying for? Comatose brother? Yasu? Wait, I'm Takumi's girlfriend? Will you really make another mistake due to your own recklessness? Could you live with the guilt of this one? Taku is visibly thrown off and stares at her with wide eyes, trembling. He doesn't react, even as the other vampire rips his dagger away from him, throws it, and holds Takumi's arms behind his back. I'm scared, terrified out of my mind, but I tried to not let it show. Instead, I think about how to get away from this freak show. The woman practically whispers, all traces of her smile gone. I am so terribly curious to see what will happen to you, my dear immortal. Ah! The woman in red crumples to the floor. I spin around to see Sunika standing there, holding what seems to be the woman in red's large gun. Improbably, she spins it around her small finger with ease, making the heavy gun look as light as air. She looks around the room at the carnage. The one or two hooded people that remain standing simply stare at Sunika in shock, along with everyone else in the room. Sunika lets out a low whistle. are you? Takumi's question seems to catalyze the one of the hooded figures into action, and she lunges at Sunika with an inhuman roar. But Sunika only tilts her head and puts a tiny hand out with a smile. Where her hand stops, a ripple suddenly spreads through the air, outward and through everyone around her in a circle, including me. No. The others all freeze where they are, and I find that I can't move either. Completely still, like a statue. Yet I can still see. I'm conscious. She must have stopped time. I will myself to move, to blink, but nothing happens. Really, people are so rude these days, don't you think? Well, I say these days, but in reality, people never change. Am I right, oh immortal sorceress? What to do here? I wanted to cause some trouble, but there's already so much. They're spoiling my fun. Fun? How is any of this fun? I don't like that. But it's cool. Sunika stops twirling the gun around. This thing must be a bit heavy, even for demon trash. Heavy enough to knock her out, anyway. I wonder how it shoots. I can only watch as Sunika, lightning fast, spins around and throws her gun-wielding hand out. Holding the gun askew, Sunika shoots the time-frozen Takumi point blank in the chest. Bang! I can't do anything. Not even scream. Sunika opens up a portal and steps through it, twirling her fingers at me in farewell. Toodaloo! The second Sunika is gone, time restarts, and Takumi immediately sucks in a sharp breath of pain and collapses to the ground. The bullet goes right through him into what would be the vampire in red. But he moves quickly out of the way, and an unfortunate hooded vampire gets it instead. Takumi! I rush to Takumi's side, stumbling over some unconscious bodies. But the tiny winged woman makes it there first and props him up on her knees. Aurelia. Her name comes to me in a faint whisper. Takumi, what the hell just happened? Ugh, never mind. We need a healer. Fast. I'll do what I can in the meantime. Aurelia starts working, trying to heal Takumi, who's already near unconscious and groaning on the floor. I stand there useless, watching her small hands deftly work to stop the bleeding. What do I do? Why was I sent to this moment? This is a mess. If Sunika hadn't just appeared out of nowhere, if she hadn't appeared, what would have happened? Would I be the one bleeding out on the floor? Before I can so much as form another thought, Naoki suddenly grabs me and stares me down. Girl, go to Hagiwara. One of the best healers I know is Professor Kazama. If you want that boy to survive, find him and send him here. After he finishes up, send him to my home. June needs assistance too. With that, Naoki turns and goes to attend what looks like his twin brother. As he steps away from me, I manage to calm myself somewhat. I run out of the house with tears still running down my face, but I can hardly afford to wait. There's so much happening that I don't know how long it would take me to stop my tears. All I know is that I must find Hikaru, for more than one reason now. The twins are gone when I get back. Aurelia is sitting on a couch out of Hikaru's way, with worried eyes and small hands still covered in blood. She looks so numb, unmoving as she watches Hikaru work. I can't say that I feel any relief, but I do feel less useless at having been able to locate Hikaru and bring him here. With my eyes glued to Takumi's pained, pale face, my mind starts to drift. When I had burst into Hikaru's office, he had seemed to instantly pick up that there was an emergency. I had managed to stammer out how there had been a shooting, and that a professor with a cold look and black hair had sent me here. I barely know who any of these people are, or where I'm supposed to go back to, but somehow I managed to save the address in my phone at least. Hikaru had immediately put his jacket on, ready to go. He followed me out without delay. It's strange. I feel like I know those people. I remember their names, but they all feel so distant to me at the same time. I stare out the window, at the moving scenery. My thoughts keep turning back to the carnage I saw. Seeing Takumi get shot right in front of me, I can't stop myself from replaying that image in my mind over and over again. The image of him just lying there, completely motionless in a pool of blood. His blood. And when we got here, Hikaru had only grimly stared down at Takumi for a moment before getting to work. I have considered just telling him everything about my mission now so I can get out of here, but one look at Takumi stops me in my tracks. No, I can't. I brought this mess upon this timeline, and I need to be the one to fix it. Professor, do you think you can really help Takumi? There's so much blood. That's not very helpful. Is he alive still, after losing so much? Hikaru turns to me with a sad smile, but he never stops his work, not even for a second. You may not know this, but I'm pretty proud of my skills. I'm one of the best healers in Japan. I've brought people back from near death. Hell, maybe I could even bring someone back from the dead. Hikaru grows quiet. If I tried hard enough. Thinking of Takumi as dead, it leaves me feeling cold. Although we hadn't spent much time together lately, I had managed to catch up with my childhood friend. Somewhere between the endless lessons that Hikaru was putting me through, I fight back the tears at the memory of my old friend, back when he was still much shorter than me. You better make it, you shrimp. I focus back on Hikaru. Can I help at all? Even though my healing isn't that good, maybe there's something? Hikaru shakes his head. Healers have to be experienced with working together or they'll just get in the way of each other. Please just trust me instead. I stand in the doorway watching. I did decide to have faith in Hikaru's abilities, especially since I know he is half god. That should count for something, right? If anyone can do it, it's Hikaru. I look at Takumi's body on the floor, drenched and surrounded by a pool of his own blood. So pale now. I feel my heart sink. I watch like a hawk to make sure his chest continues to rise and fall, but I can't actually tell anymore. There's a steady stream of blood leaking out of his mouth, and I desperately want to do something about it. Hikaru's face is as severe as ever as his hands glow, lying upon Takumi's chest. I glance up at Aurelia. She seems to simply be staring blankly at Takumi with no life in her eyes. I look back at Takumi's unconscious form. He looks so cold, so dead. Why does he look so dead? He's alive, right? He's fine, right? He's going to be fine, right? Seconds stretch into minutes that feel like hours with no change, except sweat beading and dropping from Hikaru's forehead. I stand there shaking, unable to sit or move or do anything myself. Finally, Hikaru stands up. I want to move toward him, but I can't bear to cross Takumi. Instead of meeting anyone's eyes, he looks out the window and shakes his head. In a barely audible whisper, he says the two words I didn't want to hear. I'm sorry. That's it. That's all that's said, and the room goes completely silent. The silence seems to intensify until it's nearly deafening, yet no one moves or makes a sound. My mind is blank. My eyes just fall on Takumi's deathly pale body and the never-ending stream of blood coming from it. I look at the small winged woman, almost expecting her to be able to do something, as if she, an actual denizen of this timeline denying it, would somehow make the truth less real. But she doesn't say anything. She merely stands up and walks over to Takumi's body. She kneels by his side, uncaring about the blood. She takes his pale hand in her dark one and simply bows her head. I look at Hikaru, who doesn't even glance back at Takumi's body as he moves past me. I don't turn around to see where he's going. I hear the door close behind me. Barely anything changes in the room. Not Aurelia's position, and not Takumi's. Not ever again. The only thing that does change is that small drops of water fall from Aurelia's hidden face. Covered by her hair, they fall and intermix with the blood on the floor. That's when something snaps. Something snaps in me. Something breaks, and I can't take it anymore. Can't take being in this room anymore. I spin around on my heel and head to the door, throwing it open. I stop outside in the hallway. He said he'd save him. He said to trust in him. I can barely contain my anger. I want to scream and punch something. Someone. I'm going to find him. I storm down the hallway. I don't have to go far before I find Hikaru himself. I almost bypass him entirely. There's a huddled figure hiding in the shadows of Aurelia's building when I come out, and I pay no mind to it, until I hear a choked-back sob rip through the night. I stop and look back. Hikaru? Hikaru looks up and I see that the pitiful form is in fact him, squatting down. He's holding himself in his arms, uncaring of his leather coat dragging on the wet ground. He looks away, seemingly ashamed, but doesn't change positions. I don't think now's the time to be like, you bastard. You promised. You promised. Why? Why did Takumi have to die? I don't know. Could you have been saved if we had got there quicker, or what? What could have possibly been done to save him? I don't know. I never know. Then what do you know? All the anger I felt vanishes from my heart, leaving only the immense pain. It feels as if it's caught in a vice, slowly getting crushed. I turn and plop myself down on the ground next to the crouching man. Thankfully, no one actually pays us any mind. Tears flow down my face before I even fully realize it. You said that you would save him. I whisper weakly. My voice cracks under the weight of tears. Hikaru doesn't answer this time. He doesn't have to. We remain like this in silence for a while, until he eventually begins to speak. It's times like this that I remember I'm human too. I hold such limited power. I don't know what to say, or how to comfort him. I still can't entirely get over, or even accept the fact that he seems so emotionally shaken as well. Is he acting? No. Why would he be? Not after leaving like that. This isn't the first time it's happened, that I've failed to save someone. I always hope it'll be the last, but I'm so sorry. I've hurt you more than necessary by giving you false hope, because I was overconfident. I'll remember just how weak I really am from now on. I'll pay penance however I can for this sin, and others. I sense Hikaru's deep pain, but I don't feel like I can do anything to remotely touch it. However, Hikaru, it wasn't your fault. Oh, it's not your fault.
It's not your fault.
Don't fuck with me, alright? Don't fuck with me, Sean, not you.
It's not your fault.
It's not your fault. It's not your sin. I take out Haruka's earring and show it to him. Where did you get that? Are you? I nod. If this is anyone's fault, it's mine. I came here to try to save you, but Sunika followed me. She follows me to every fucking timeline. She took advantage of the situation, of the chaos. She is the one who shot Takumi. If it's anyone's sin, it's mine for coming here, knowing I would bring chaos in my wake. Hikaru says nothing. He merely takes the earring out of my hand and gently strokes it with his thumb. Then maybe Takumi was the one who was punished because the pride we both held. Still, it was Sunika who pulled the trigger. She is the one who needs to pay for all of this. I agree, but I don't know if I can do anything. I'm not powerful enough to stop a god. But you're not alone in this, are you? You have Galen on your side, and my mother. And the other Hikaru's across the timeline too. If there's any way to set this right, promise me that you will. Hikaru closes his eyes and places his hand over his chest, repeating what the previous Hikaru had done. As the soul fragment appears, so does the box Galen had given me, and I quickly secure the fragment. Looking into Hikaru's sparkling yet intense eyes, I feel my own resolve strengthen too. I nod, numbing the pain inside of me for now. I focus on the growing feeling inside me, this determination to set things. With my task accomplished, I stand up. I then extend my hand to Hikaru, who looks up at me wide-eyed. He accepts my hand without comment, and I help him up to his feet. If there's a way, I'll find it, no matter how long it takes. In the meantime, please don't lose hope. When everything's set right again, we'll let you know. Hikaru merely nods, and I look up at the sky. I'm not sure where the two gods are watching me from, but I find myself drawn to the moon. I feel the familiar tug on my soul. But even as I'm being pulled back into Galen's realm, I can't stop my thoughts. Isn't it just my own pride that caused all this? That killed Takumi? Isn't it just vanity that makes me think I have a right to risk lives? No, entire worlds, to save someone just because I owe them? Or just why am I really doing all this anyway? In a blink, I'm back in my body again. The numbness from the other world follows me here. My eyes are trained on the floor beneath me, but when I look up, my eyes fall on Galen. He only stares evenly back at me. I feel like I've got some questions for the god, all right. I approach him with that goal. Beg. We'll beg. He won't do it. Galen. Yes? Please, can you please help Takumi? Can't you bring him back? Hold on. I remember this being kind of iffy. Please, you have all this power. You even brought me back into existence, so you must be able to. Please. He sighs. I do have the power to, certainly, but I will not bring him back. His declaration feels like a stab to the heart. What? But why? Because he may not be Takumi anymore. No, but what about all the people who lost him? Who lost him because of me? Galen tilts his head. This is not something I will do, so do not ask anymore. Do you want to see what happens when he tries to change his mind? Unhappy with the god's answers, I feel white-hot anger take over my body. I get close to Galen and point a finger up at his face. Let's fuck with the god. Let's get in God's face. Sounds like a load of bullshit to me. Either you're an almighty powerful god, or you're a total fraud. Or maybe you don't really care about anyone but your fucking self anyway. Oh no. Kate, please. Haruka starts wringing her hands. Please calm down. I refuse to. I'm tired of going through all this shit while he sits up here in his safe little place. He could fix it all with a snap of his fingers, couldn't he? But instead, people like Takumi and Hikaru have to suffer. Haruka walks up to me and places her hands on my arms, trying to gently drag me out of Galen's face. I understand you're upset, but please, I urge you to stop. Galen is usually as patient as he is powerful, but most any god would get upset with the level of disrespect you're giving him right now. Why should I respect anyone who would sit by when he could be helping people instead? I get up right in Galen's face. You're as cruel as you are useless. Kate, no! Galen leans down to get a closer look at me, and for the first time since he dragged me out of the nowhere, I start to feel like I might choke. It's like the air around us becomes so heavy that I can barely stand. Cruel, am I? Some call me outright evil, and I see you see it the same way as them. I am far worse than you can possibly imagine. I hear Haruka's distant yell, but it feels like trying to hear things underwater. There's an achievement you get for that. I remember getting it because I was just like, yeah, I'm mad. Hold on, what's the achievement? It's like Enter the chaos. Wait, hold on. Where is it? It's like you fucked with him or something. What was it? I think it was this one. Welcome to nothing. Yeah, I think it was that one. You pissed him off. Erased. Oh no, it was this one. Flung out of existence by the God Killer. I'm pretty sure that was it. It was one of those. It's pretty funny. Anyway, I don't want to keep that up for too long. I don't want spoilers, but I wanted y'all to see what happens when you do that. Because I definitely did that the first time. Haruka's words die in her mouth as Kate disappears. She stares at the god who she has only known as kind. Even knowing his other titles, she always knew that he was. But in this moment, she could no longer see that part of him. Before her stood not Galen, her old friend, but Eowyrth, the god killer. I'll go now. I'll take Hikaru with me. Ceasing to exist, I don't know that she deserved that fate, Galen. But I don't want to make you any angrier. I'm frightened of you right now. I'll go. Haruka gently cradles her son in her arms and places a tear-stained kiss on his forehead. And in a gust of wind, the two of them disappear. Galen looks up at the endless chaos beyond all the walls of the Colosseum. Goodbye, old friend. calmly whispers to the wind. He snaps his fingers and... Ugh. Anyway. I just wanted y'all to see that. Please, can you help him? You bring him back? Please, you have all this power. You even brought me back to existence, so you must be able to. Please. He sighs. I do have the power, but he's not. Okay, we'll skip all this till you're done. We'll give up. Ugh. I can't say that I agree with you. I admit that I don't want to, but I sigh. I realize that there's probably a million things I don't know, so I will drop this matter. For now. Thank you for understanding. Since that's settled, we can move on. Alright. Last one. Cosmos of the Dragon, Tatsuya. A seated man with aqua hair looks up as I walk up to him. He stands up in one fluid movement. Ah, what? Who is this even? This is so disorienting. I don't think I'll ever get used to it. A pleasure to see you again, Kate. He smoothly, easily takes my hand and plants a kiss on the back of it. My skin tingles under the heat of his lips. What the hell? Who is this? This better not be my boyfriend. I hear a distant, fading voice in my head call back. Boyfriend? No way. Allow me to formally introduce myself. He lets my hand go, a little too slowly, his fingers tickling my skin. He gives a small, mocking bow. Katsunosuke Kasima. I'm the scion and current leader of the Kasima family, which is, of course, very large, very old, very rich, and all that. And I guess I'm supposed to be impressed? When he stands back up straight again, he smiles down at me. His voice sounds so smooth and practiced. I can tell right away this guy knows his way around women. You're looking very cute tonight. Oh. Did you dress down a little more for me? For you? Why would I do that for you? Well, aren't you a feisty one? I open my mouth to reply when I realize that I recognize the person who was sitting next to Katsunosuke at the bar. Oh! Without me even noticing, Hikaru has been sitting, sipping his coffee there the whole time. Whoa, I already found him. How lucky is that? I hope he doesn't get the wrong idea about me and this guy. Wait, why should I even care? Katsu cocks his head to the side. Oh, do you know him? I'm one of her professors, actually. Hikaru smiles up at me from his seat. Good evening, Sith. How are you? I'm good. Professor, I didn't see you there. Do you know this guy? Hikaru shakes his head. I just met him, actually. We were just having a chat about all the recent troubles between Fae factions of Avalon before you came in. Oh, okay, I see. That's nice and all, but how do I get rid of this blue-haired guy so I can talk to Hikaru alone? I think I'm supposed to be meeting up with this guy, though. I have no idea how to get rid of the Katsu guy, but I figure I can at least keep Hikaru here as long as possible. I'm surprised to see you here, Professor. Do you come here often? Yep, I'm actually a regular here, especially when weekends are kind of slow for me. Katsu laughs lightly. I can understand the feeling. Yet another womanizer. They must be such good friends. He said you just met him. While I'm looking at anywhere other than Katsunosuke, my eyes drift over to the coffee house's front doors. 2 more people with blue hair walk in. Huh? What are they doing here? He glances at me and smiles as he continues. But this weekend, I got lucky. Gross. I could clearly hear Chisaki speak to the barista. I'm here to see Galen about a job for my son. Would you please go and let him know I'm here? Hikaru suddenly stands up, bringing my attention back to the 2 men before me. Haruka's soft voice comes into my head then. Don't let him leave. Galen's deeper one follows. Carefully. Chaos has saturated this timeline already. The sensation of the gods' voices cutting into my mind makes the hair stand up on the back of my neck. After what happened last time, I know that neither the Chaos nor Sunika is something I want to run into. It was good chatting with you, Kasima. Now if you'll excuse me, I'll leave you to enjoy your date. Desperate, scared, and at a loss for anything else to do, I stand up so fast I knock the chair over. Katsu's eyes look down at the chair and then back at me, but I don't care about him. I hurriedly grab Hikaru's wrist, who looks at me like I'm a mad woman. Show him proof. I pull out Haruka's earring and immediately show it to Hikaru. He briefly glances at the earring in my hand, but I can only guess if he's recognized it or not. Whatever it is that you want to talk to me about will have to wait, Sith. I have somewhere to be, so can we talk later about this? No? You can come by my office during office hours and we can discuss it then. You should just enjoy your date now. I'll see you later. Hey, Professor, wait! Hey! Hey! I try to grab Hikaru again, but he avoids me and Katsu grabs my other arm. Don't you think you're being beyond rude? I won't stand here and be disrespected like that. I scowl back at Katsu and try to shake him off. I need to get to Hikaru. But Kasunosuke doesn't budge. He won't let me go. Suddenly, Tatsuya is at my side. He roughly rips away Katsu's hand away from mine and pushes me behind him as he steps in between us. Aren't you supposed to have a little more experience with women than this? If she doesn't want you, you just have to accept that. This has nothing to do with you. I suggest you exit the conversation, snowflake. Shizaki silently appears next to her son. Tatsuya is right. You need to learn how to treat a lady. If a lady decides she is done with you, you must gracefully accept her decision. Still, I think it's best if we leave. I wouldn't want to cause any more of a commotion at Gal's place. I look around, noting that all the patrons have stopped to watch the scene unfolding between us. Shizaki herself takes my hand. Come on, Kate. She begins to lead me outside, leaving an outraged Katsu behind. Tatsuya stares at him with his arms crossed, blocking him from following us as we leave. I'm so glad Shizaki and Tatsuya appeared when they did. It seems like dealing with that guy on my own would have been too big of a distraction. Now I can chase after Hikaru at least. Even if he doesn't deserve it because he acted like a kind of jerk to me. Wait, something's... I stop and look at the sky. Huh, how did it get dark so fast? Shizaki stops just a few steps away from me and looks up at the sky with a frown. It shouldn't be so dark. Not yet. Wait. I turn to see Kasunosuke run out of the building and Tatsuya rushing after him. Before I can say anything, I suddenly feel strange, just for a moment. It lasts for a second, if even that, but it makes the hair stand up on the back of my neck. I feel compelled to turn around just as the sound of clapping reaches my ears. My blood runs cold. There, walking in between us and the two men, is Sunika, 'cause of course it is. Bravi, bravi. You truly all have put on a wonderful show. I was starting to get a bit bored, but you... Sunika points at Tatsuya. You certainly know how to liven things up, don't you, big boy? Oh, fuck. Where did she come from? Has she been here the entire time? Wait, is this what Haruka and Galen were trying to tell me? They could have just said so. I bet you have a lot of anger, bottled up all neat and tight under that nerdy sweater vest. Sunika giggles. How do you look without it anyway? Your true form. Are you just as cute and controlled? I doubt it. You half-dragons were a miserable creation, really. All that unbridled power and emotion, and only a weak human mind to control it. Who the hell are you? And what do you want? Key, calm down. This woman, she may be horrible, but she's not what she seems. Wow, a smart one. Anyway, don't get your dragon panties in a bunch. I like to take my time. Galen, what do I do? I scream in my head for help, but it's Haruka that replies to me. I'll try to call Hikaru to come back and help. I can hardly even think anything more before Sunika points to Kasunosuke. Snowflake may get pissed as hell, but you don't get pissed enough, right? Apathy. That's just not a good look, especially on a half-dragon. You've got to embrace your emotions. With that, Sunika, staring hard at Katsu, tilts her head slightly. Katsu suddenly stiffens, his arms dropping to his side. With his stiff posture and relaxed arms, everything about it strikes me as odd. For a moment, his head drops down. I can't see his eyes, and I feel like I can't breathe. The air around us feels heavy as a strange barrier forms around us. Suddenly, his head snaps back up, but his eyes, they're strange, different. His eyes have a strange glow, and slowly I turn to Tsunika, hoping that my fears are unfounded, but her eyes have that same sort of glow. There's a sudden flash of light, and Katsu stands before us in his true form. I barely blink before I hear Chisaki yell from behind me. "Watch out!" Katsu sends one of his water dragons straight at me. I throw my hands up, creating a barrier around myself just a split second before it can hit me. The water dragon snaps and claws at my barrier without pause. I can feel my arms shake with each of the water dragon's attacks. But no matter how many times it attacks, the barrier holds strong. Mostly. I feel something's off, though, as the barrier shivers. My eyes scan for any cracks, any weaknesses. A second water dragon flies straight for me, and in that moment I know that my barrier can't hold off two of them for long. In a flash of light, Tatsuya transforms and jumps in front of me, diverting the second dragon away from me. It crashes into the ground, its draconic form falling apart upon impact with his sword of ice. Despite Tatsuya distracting Katsu, I keep my barrier up as I watch them. For a moment, neither one of them moves, carefully watching the other for even the slightest twitch. I take my chance to observe Katsu. His eyes. I glance at the happy-looking Tsunika, and I feel like I've been punched. She's controlling him, isn't she? Like some little puppet that she's decided to play around with. That has to be why he feels so strong. My eyes dart around the scene, looking for anything to help break Tsunika's hold on Katsunosuke. Everything around us is frozen, standing completely still. It's as if time only flows for us. Shizaki watches the two from a distance, and I can only guess what's going on in her mind. She gently touches her earring and transforms into beautiful clothing I assume is her magical gear. So even she'll be dragged into this fight. The two half-dragons seem to go toe-to-toe, not missing a single beat. Tatsuya seems to give as good as he gets. Katsu's water dragons circle around Tatsuya, each one rushing to snap at him, but Tatsuya doesn't stand still. Tatsuya twists and turns, dodging every single attack aimed at him. His moves are so fluid that I become transfixed in watching their deadly dance. But something shifts in the air. In the split second that Tatsuya turns his back to Katsunosuke to avoid the attack of one of the water dragons, Katsu conjures a third one. It moves so fast that I can't even yell for Tatsuya to watch out. That dragon quickly lunges at Tatsuya, sending him flying from the impact. Tatsuya crashes into the side of one of the buildings. Ki! Hikaru is here, but he can't get through the time barrier that Tsunika has set up. Haruka's gentle voice whispers into my mind. Don't fret, he's working on it. Shizaki looks to her son's unconscious form. She takes a hesitant step toward him, then stops. With her eyes burning in quiet rage, Shizaki pushes her hands out in Katsunosuke's direction. Out and up, her hands move gracefully, purposefully, weaving some invisible spell. The ground around Katsu splits open and spikes of ice shoot out around him, trapping the water dragon in an icy prison. Katsunosuke slices through the ice with a thin water whip, easily freeing himself. He directs his conjured water dragons at Shizaki. As they rush towards her, she quickly turns one to ice, causing it to fall to the ground and shatter upon impact. The other dragon lunges at her, but she easily puts up an ice barrier. As the dragon makes contact with it, it immediately turns to ice. Tsunika! A familiar voice cuts through the battle, making everyone pause and look at the source. As my concentration falters, so does my barrier. Hikaru appears on the scene, but his eyes are only locked on Tsunika. He got through! A sudden chill runs down my spine. What? The mind-controlled Katsu takes his chance the moment I stop paying attention to him. He grabs one of the icicles off the ground and runs at me, icicle aimed right at my chest. Kate! Shizaki gets in front of me, throwing a hand out to block it with an ice shield. Oof. However, due to the sheer force of the attack, it breaks right through her ice shield, and through Shizaki. Oh no.
Not like this. Not like this.
She gasps and chokes, her hands weakly grasping at the icicle pierced through her chest, even as Katsu holds on to it. She doesn't let go, and instead, wincing, grabs onto the icicle. The ice begins to quickly climb up Katsu's arm. He struggles to break free, but Shizaki doesn't let go. Within seconds, he is completely covered in ice, frozen in his tracks. The ice begins to spread even further still, slowly covering Shizaki herself. Oh, no, what's happening? What do I do? Her strength clearly leaving her, Shizaki begins to draw breaths and gasps. Don't worry. I'm happy I could save you two. Take care of Tatsu. Her final words are a whisper amongst the crackling ice as the rest of her body freezes solid. As I stand there dumbfounded, I realize Hikaru is standing next to me. You should have just given... Why didn't you just give me the soul fragment when I showed you the earring, you bastard? His face looks how I feel, still in shock at the scene that unfolded before us and the two frozen figures left as a result. We turn to Sunika, who gives a little salute. God, I want to kill her. She is the worst. Yo, Hikaru. And then she simply isn't there anymore. The area turns back to normal and it all feels so damned anticlimactic and empty. The ground is wet, slick with water and ice everywhere, the only evidence of what happened here to ruin 3 lives. Hikaru immediately erects another barrier to keep people from seeing or entering. I drop to my knees in a daze as people gather around the edges of Hikaru's barrier. He sadly looks on at the 2 frozen figures. I shouldn't have left. No, you shouldn't have. I shake my head, barely aware of myself, of anything. Is there anything you can do to help Shizaki? Maybe. It's likely that she froze herself to stop the bleeding. Ice for a dragon of her kind has an effect like warm blankets do on other creatures. He sighs. So it would be extremely risky to defrost her right now. It's an ice dragon's way of slowing time. Will she be okay? Will they be okay? Hikaru shakes his head. Tatsuya seems fine, other than unconscious. Oh. But what about Shizaki? I don't know, she got pierced to the fucking chest, you idiot. Probably not. I can't bring myself to ask about her out loud. And Hikaru doesn't seem to be able to bring himself to mention her condition further either. Please be okay. I hear a gentle voice in my head. You have to go. You don't want Sunika to come back. I can sense it. You can gather his soul fragment now. I squash down my overwhelming feelings and stand up. Easily summoning Haruka's earring to my palm, I show it to Hikaru, who only nods dully. I figured it out when I saw Sunika. You figured it out? What do you mean? I showed this to you. He quietly performs the soul fragment ritual and I capture it in the box as it appears. I stare at the box in my hands and with a deep breath, I will it away to safety. I'm going to leave now. Kate, unlike before, I promise I'll work diligently to save Shizaki. His voice sounds hollow though, but I don't want to think too deeply into it, so I nod. I feel a tug on my shoulder once more, but even as my being is pulled away from this timeline, I can't stop thinking. What have I done? Those 2 risked their lives, may have given their life to save this Kate because they cared about her so much. While I was only focused on what I wanted, I was so reckless. I'm sorry, Tatsuya. I'm sorry, Shizaki. And I'm sorry to this Kate, and this Hikaru too. How heavy will my sins be at the end of this? I reassume my old body and immediately fall to my hands and knees. Well, let's save. Kate, it was all fucked up. It went so wrong. Not entirely. You did succeed in the end. 1 more soul fragment collected. Do you know? Are you able to look through time and see if it'll be all right? Even if I could, what would be the point? You can't undo the past. Then who can? Can't you, Galen? I am the god of chaos. I can see all the potential paths and ends, but that does not give you the answer you seek. And there are certain things that you must find out on your own. There is one person who can restore time. You don't mean... Yes, Sonika no Mikoto is her chosen name. She's also known as the Weaver of Time. Well, that's useful as crap. Surely there are other gods who can do it. Gods and goddesses who can manipulate the flow of time are extraordinarily rare. Besides Sonika, there's only one other one I ever knew that existed. Tokyo, her dead lover. Ah, he was a time god too? He was much younger than Sonika though. When he was born, I'd heard she had little interest in him. I'm not sure how they came to be together later on exactly. How did he die? It's a long, sad story. A story for another time, perhaps. But now, it's time for you to collect the rest of the missing soul fragments. The sooner you get his soul fragments, the higher the chance that you can avoid running into Sonika again. Keep that in mind. I nod as I start to feel that familiar feeling of my soul being pulled to another timeline. I look at Hikaru's floating body and then at Haruka. Do you think he'll wake up soon? I don't know. I may be a goddess, but I'm no expert on souls. Every time you bring more fragments, I release them and hope they'll be enough. You can release it this time, Kate. I don't sense any more around these cosmoses, so I'm hoping this will be the last fragment needed. I nod and slowly walk over to Hikaru. This is the first time looking at him since... I shake the bad memory off, the way Sonika attacked us, the way I almost faded into nothingness. I'm going to make some therapist rich after all this. I hope they have magical ones, or they'll definitely lock me away. I summon the soul box and open it, releasing the last soul fragment I've collected. It separates into several balls of light and dance through the air. They merge into one before they collide into Hikaru's body. I find myself staring at Hikaru's relaxed face and long lashes. He really is a beautiful person. Anxiously, I wait to see if he wakes up, but in the end, he doesn't even stir. My Hikaru. It seems it wasn't enough still. But how much longer do I have to do this? How many more worlds do I have to destroy like this? You said you didn't feel his soul fragments anymore either. Is he already lost to us? Was this all for nothing? He is not lost. There are a few different places that the last of his soul fragments may have gone to. We simply need to rule out where they are not. I nod and look away as they start their search. I can't do anything to help them with something like that. With nothing else to do, I wait. My eyes drift towards Hikaru's floating form. He looks so peaceful. If I didn't know any better, I might really think he was asleep. Soon, Haruka turns to me with a smile, drawing me out of my trance. Kate, I've sensed him again. There are so many fragments here. Something strong must have drawn them to this place. It must be a very important place. No, time for Hikaru. That's great. Where is it? Your Hikaru's past. Hello? All three of us turn to look at the newcomer. Oh my god, even here, she's like a living nightmare. Instinctively, I move closer to Galen and Haruka, Sonika's instability fresh in my mind. But Haruka gets closer to Galen as well, both of us using his imposing figure as cover. Such a cold welcome for someone as cute as me. I'm usually known as the life of the party. You should be grateful I graced your dreary emo prison, Grandpa. Still the petulant child, I see. Don't mock me just because I'm not a million years old. Mock? Why would I ever mock you? Probably because you don't have anything else to do. Being forever alone must get pretty lame after a while. I manage. Now then, how did you get in? There's something the oh-so-great emo grandpa doesn't know? Sonika giggles. Fine, I'll be a good little girl and tell you. You simply left your back door open. I see. I'll be sure to close that once you're gone. Sonika gasps dramatically. Are you sure you won't miss me? I wouldn't want you to get lonely here all by yourself. Besides, we do have a thing or two in common, Grandpa. Galen tilts his head slightly. Is that so? How touching. What the hell are these two even talking about? This whole conversation is so... Is that why you've come? Too tired of being alone? You wish. No, I just wanted to come and, see your place. Thank you for all that you're doing. You know I don't normally get to play, so it's been really entertaining. There was a time when I hated the chaos and all that it was, but it's not so bad, really. Play too much and you'll only end up destroying yourself. But you already know that, don't you? And who says I care about that anyway? Then you won't mind if I destroy you now. Though I would prefer to avoid doing that. Galen, Kate needs to go. Hikaru's running out of time. Galen's eyes flit from Haruka to me, and then to Sunika. He merely nods and snaps his fingers. I feel that too familiar tug on my shoulder, but this time it's different. I realize that I'm being pulled, body and all.